Welcome to Riviera Rats, a Palm d'Or podcast. I'm Greg.
I'm Bill.
Today we have an exciting episode. Do you know why?
Because it's us?
This is an exciting episode because this is us, and we're going back to 2022.
Twinklety, twinklety, too.
The year of the donkey.
It is the year of the donkey.
It's the year
there are
of the
so many
donkey.
donkey movies in 2022.
Or the year of Hong Chow, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, either way. Either way, someone adorable that I love. Yeah.
This is the year that the Palm went to Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness, welcoming him into a small club of double Palm winners.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into our usual itinerary of talking about the other events at the festival, the juries, the other competitions, and then finally the official competition, I want to know, Bill, how was the holidays? How's it going?
It's going well. The holidays were nice, very quiet. I usually have very quiet holidays. I don't do a lot of partying. It's nice to be back to this. Our listeners have had an episode a month, but we've actually been separated by quite some time since our last recording because of your exciting adventures in the Antipodes, which looked wonderful. And I'm so happy that you had a wonderful time and that you had a safe time and you know that it was all great. As you know, I was like inundated with a whole legion of screeners around the time that you left. So I just spent the whole time we were apart catching up on. I've watched everything for 2025. I am ready for award season.
How does that feel?
It feels nice. I mean, I like having seen everything at the same time as a lot of other people that I was always rather envious of, which is cool. But you know, I don't want to get too cheesy about it. But the real pleasure of award season is seeing everything with my friends, seeing stuff with you, and you know, it just means not doing that as much. And then there is stuff that I'm willing to go see again, and I'll happily go with you to see things like The Secret Agent and Sirat on a big screen. But it's not the same as discovering them together. So, you know, it's not something that keeps me up at night. I'm not quite that ridiculous, but it is a downside for sure.
Bill just shed a single glory tear as he said that.
It's kind of like the lockdown year when all the award season movies were available online and you're like, this is great and so convenient, but also it reminds me that I'm not with my friends.
No, I hear you there. On a related note, you and I got out to Marty Supreme on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, which is a great movie to see on a big screen. And listener, I had a screener of it and I saved it for Greg all the same.
Saving yourself? Is that really something you do?
Yeah.
I'm happy.
The pot calling the kettle black.
I'm happy to report I've talked to two people since you and I saw that movie who also screamed at the same set piece you and I screamed at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I think we've got a real viral moment on our hands, and I won't be surprised if Conan O'Brien doesn't make reference to it on Oscar night.
Absolutely.
But Bill.
But Bill.
But Bill. We're not here to talk about...
This reminds me of the moment in Marty Supreme when I turned to you when Emery Cohen is fully naked and he's so pink and chubby, like that scene in Porky Pig when the mosquito looks at his like rump,
yes,
wanting to bite him. And I said he looks like me when I'm naked, where it's like you look entirely like butt.
And then
like the whole body looks like butt.
And then I fell so far down the chair in the theater I almost hit the floor.
I know. I was amazed the people sitting in front of us weren't annoyed by us, but I guess we're good at being quiet in our joy, our gleeful joy.
However, Bill.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about the 2026 Academy Awards. We're here to talk about the 2022 Cannes Film Festival. Won't you tell us about the festival?
I will. And before I do that, let me point out, since we last recorded, Tatsuya Nakadai passed away, the star of Harakiri and one of my favorite actors and one of the most beautiful men ever to appear on film. He was well into his 90s. And also someone named Brigitte Bardot died. Don't know if you've heard of her. And of course, there's been a lot of discussion about her since she died because, of course, she was a glamorous sex kitten icon in the 60s, and then in her later years really gave in to her, to say the least, conservative feelings about the world, including being very Islamophobic. I guess one of the reasons why there was a lot of debate about it is because a lot of people didn't know about this, because a lot of it didn't get reported outside of France.
Mm-hmm.
and I knew about it because, I pay attention to actresses. So I remember reading the odd article, although I knew it in the macro. I didn't know all the details about it, but I remember an article where she said that she was so offended that even the hookers in Paris aren't glamorous French girls anymore, that they're all Muslims with headscarves. And I was like, oh, this lady is off her rocker. And then, of course, famously, a very staunch animal rights activist, but also in that very flavor of militant PETA person where, they'll murder somebody for wearing fur, and was culturally intolerant of practices of things like indigenous groups that practice whale hunts and stuff like that, or seal hunts.
In tribute to Brigitte Bardot, we'll be discussing Holy Spider today.
Yeah. And the reason I bring it up is because Brigitte Bardot is so important to the forming of Cannes Film Festival this premier, glamorous, like the photos of her on the beach in the 50s were what elevated this film festival to being at the top, part of what elevated to the top of its game. And her appearing at the festival was always a huge, huge deal. So, rest in peace. Hope you learn something in the afterlife. But, it is worth noting. I've had a lot of people send me these very annoying teachable moments that I don't need. Like, I know all about it. There's nothing you're going to tell me that I don't already know. Because when I post obituary, my whole Instagram is obituaries. And when I post that a famous person has died, I don't post commentary or whether or not I'm sad or happy about it. I just mark that someone I've heard of has passed away.
Oh, I know this because you posted that Dick Cheney died with no commentary, and I thought, how did you restrain yourself?
Yeah, or Henry Kissinger, and I got a lot of commentary on that too. I don't know. I personally, no matter how awful the person might be, I think it's tacky. And this is my old world mother's influence coming in on me.
I hear you.
But I think it's tacky, and I'm a bit superstitious about gloating over somebody dying.
No, I hear you for sure.
And it has nothing to do with my having soft feelings about the person. I don't know. I just think it's bad form. But anyway, that's also not what we're here to talk about. We today are covering the 75th annual Cannes Film Festival, which ran from May 17th to May 28th, 2022. So yeah, not that long ago. I mean, you and I were talking about this festival when it was on because we already knew each other.
That's right.
2022 for me is the first year that things felt quote unquote back to normal following the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like in the spring, I went to Germany and we were wearing masks on the plane. And in the fall, I went to Edinburgh and no one anywhere I went asked me to wear a mask. Like people wore them if they wanted to, but it was no longer required anywhere. That was the first year that I felt like travel was really bouncing back. Things were starting to go back to normal. And this is also something that distributors were hoping at this festival would be the case for the movie business as well, because it had been, a very difficult business to keep going for the previous 2 years. A development at this year's festival is that TikTok is a new sponsor of the Cannes Film Festival. Doesn't make me want to kill myself. Iris Knobloch, the former boss of Warner Media France and Germany, takes over as the festival president from Pierre Lescure. And this year, the Salle du 60e Théâtre, which is the 60th theater, like the 60th anniversary theater, is renamed the Salle Agnès Varda because, of course, she had passed away not long before this. It's a theater that's on the beach behind the Concrete Palais. It's kind of I believe, where they do the Cinéma du Plage, but I'm not sure.
That looks fun.
The other notable thing about this festival is that there are more female directors in competition this year than ever before, which is 5.
Cool.
Which is, I mean, I know we're supposed to say, but they should be half. There probably should be, but in terms of like what we know of women directors' presence in film in general, that is a pretty good number.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, considering how much of the year they're on their periods.
Yeah. And then don't make me go into my usual speech about the fact that everyone has something to say about female directors, and then I go see their movies and I sit in empty theaters. Anyway, go on.
This has been another episode of Bill Watches an Ava DuVernay movie. Before I get into the other competitions, I want to give a couple of shouts out. First of all, thank you, Frasier, for letting us know. For letting us know the creator of the egg chair was Arnaud Jacobson.
Oh, right.
And also, I'd like to take a moment to exercise some humility. When Bill and I started this pod, we thought we're probably the only people in the world who want to watch every movie that was ever in competition. People will probably think this podcast is ridiculous, except for the people who listen to it because they love us. But maybe there's one person out there who wants to watch Tchaikovsky's Wife. And we found him. and
Yep.
he lives in Toronto, and his name is Thomas, and he sourced Tchaikovsky's wife for us.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas.
And thank you to my friend Steve, who said, he said to me, I think the thing that's amazing about you is that you podcast about all these obscure movies that no one's ever heard of. And every other loser in this world podcasts about contemporary stuff, the easy stuff. And he said that you and I, we go high.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
You know how
it's
high we
nice.
go? We find things in crummy versions on YouTube.
Yeah. All this to say, we're not getting any freaking reviews on any of the apps or websites out there. So write a goddamn review, you people. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Fraser. Thank you, Steve. All right, moving on.
Yeah, and no thank you to Jones Soda. I want my sponsorship.
Greg, tell us about the other competitions this year.
In uncertain regard, our jury president is Valeria Golino.
Adore.
Is she the hot mom in Portrait of a Lady on Fire?
Yep.
Cool.
And the sister in Maria, and the love interest in Rain Man and Big Top Pee-wee, and a director, and a brilliant cameo in Leaving Las Vegas. She's also half Greek.
We've got The Blue Caftan by Mariam Touzani. This is a gay movie from Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
A movie I watched in theater before I realized there are so many movies about Sisi. Corsage by Marie Kreutzer. This movie was followed by a lot of scandal when it came out.
Yeah, because everyone got accused of sexual assault. And also, it's a movie about Sisi where they make everything up, and I don't get it. I don't get what the point is of making this movie, where none of it's true. Anyway.
Yeah, and I haven't thought of it since I saw it. But I've thought a lot about Godland by Léonor Palmasin.
Great.
Yeah, fantastic movie. It was a shortlister for an international feature film nomination one year.
Yeah, and it should have gotten in. Mm-hmm.
Well, and it would have been really cool for Iceland. I don't know how many times they've done it.
Once.
Yeah. Movie I did not get to see, Joyland by Saeed Sadiq. This was the Queer Palm winner. And the jury president of the Queer Palm this year was Catherine Corsini, who we know has sound sexual politics. Return to Seoul, another movie I have yet to watch. That's the season came and went, and I missed the chance to see
I have that on my computer somewhere. Yeah.
By Davi Chu. And Les Pires by Lise Akoka and Roman Guare. And this is a winner of something?
Of the Uncertain Regard.
Oh, this one, The Uncertain Regard. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Have you seen it yet?
No.
All right. In International Critics Week, of which the jury president was Kauthar Ben Hania. What should I know them from?
4 Daughters.
Who's now back in the news with the voice of Hind Rajib.
Job, yeah.
In the International Critics Week, we first saw the appearance on the festival circuit of After Sun by Charlotte Wells, who would go on to win the Best Director prize from the National Society of Film Critics that year.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, the movie got a Best Actor nomination for Paul Mescal. It sort of announced him to the world.
Good.
The Camera d'Or, this year the jury was presided over by Rossi de Palma, who's a beautiful toucan, one of our favorite chicas from Almodovar's movies. And the winner of the Camera d'Or this year was Riley Keough for War Pony, alongside Gina Gamble. This movie also won the Palme d'Or.
I never heard of this movie. Did you hear about this movie?
No, but I love Riley Keough as an actress.
I love her too, but also, like, did we decide that Elvis's granddaughter has too much in her life that we didn't celebrate the fact that she won an award at Cannes?
Well, how many people are going to be talking about the chronology of Water Bill?
Okay, fine. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like your name before you make your first movie can work for you or against you. Like Urchin is being talked about, and no one's talking about the movie that Scarlett made with Thelma.
Yeah, but it got a release. I saw it got a release, and I saw her doing press for it.
Yeah, maybe this one didn't. Let's look into it. Bill, help me out. What is the L'Oeil d'Or?
Well, it literally means the golden eye, but I don't know what it's for.
Okay, well, it's another one of these side competitions.
Yeah.
The president this year was Agnieszka Holland. She'll come up later. In Director's Fortnight, we've got notable movies. We've got One Fine Morning, which won. Bill and I love this movie. It's in both of our top 10s. We've got a shitty movie called Will of the Wisp by João Pedro Rodrigues.
Yeah, where they go down on really fake dildos.
Yep. Well, we got fake dildos in this episode to talk about as well. We've got a little movie called Men by Alex Garland. What did you think of that one?
It's okay.
And I'm not familiar with God's Creatures by Saela Davis and Anna Rose Holmer. What is it?
It's the other movie with Paul Mescal this year that I have seen. Emily Watson's in it too. And it is enjoyable, interesting, and then it has a really bad ending.
Out of competition, we've got Elvis by Baz Luhrmann. I will say nothing else. We've got The Innocent by Louis Garrel. 3,000 Years of Longing by George Miller.
Have you seen that movie?
I missed it.
Oh, it's dumb. Not a fan.
Top Gun Maverick by Joseph Kosinski premiered here. Lovely movie, lovely sequel.
And acclaimed from the word go. Like
from word go.
Yeah, people were amazed. Like Zan Brooks from The Guardian. Is he from The Guardian? He's the British reporter anyway. He wrote that he was shocked at how much he loved it because he's used to Cannes opening with an out-of-competition Hollywood blockbuster that you just gotta endure because it's for the red carpet and for the photo op, and he was amazed that it was so fucking good.
I mean, it made my top 10. It's pretty unassailable. And hey, if you could make Jennifer Connelly have a good time,
I know.
You've done something right.
So sad.
And Moon Age Daydream premiered out of competition. This is by Brett Morgan. I think he's the guy who made the Biggie and Tupac documentary. Am I right about that?
I've seen his documentaries. I don't know if he did that one.
Oh, no. Yeah. He made Sound of Heck or something about Nirvana. That's what it was. Anyway, this is an experimental documentary about Bowie that I have yet to watch.
And it's not really about Bowie. And it's one of those movies where, like, I enjoy it, but it's too long. And Bowie fans are, like, all over it. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. It was fine.
Okay. At the end of the year, the Best Picture at the Oscars went to Everything Everywhere All at Once. And the Best Foreign Language, Best International Feature Film prize went to All Quiet on the Western Front. Though 2 of the movies we're going to be talking about today were nominated against it.
Mm-hmm.
In a weird turn of events, a lot of really good movies, arguably better movies, came out at Venice Film Festival, where the top prize went to, this is rare, a documentary, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed by Laura Poitras, which I think was my number 2 movie of this year.
Yeah, and I just saw her new movie, and it doesn't come close to how good this movie is.
Okay.
And I don't know if she'll ever make anything that comes close to how good this movie is, and that's okay.
Well, this is glory. Like, you don't touch this ever again.
Yeah. Haunting.
Haunting.
Yeah.
And the Golden Bear went to Alcaraz by Carla Simon. Have you seen this one?
I have, yeah. It's not as good as the previous one she did, which I think was called Summer 1993.
Okay.
Her movies are all the same. It's all like rustic Spanish people in vineyards. And this one's good, but I didn't like it nearly as much. I think Venice had a lot better selections because a lot of post-productions were delayed by the pandemic. And I think there were a lot more movies ready by the end of the year than were ready for the spring.
Well, and I know Joker happened a couple of years before, but I feel like since
which is a more typical experience at Venice, which is that they're really pushed to pick a Hollywood product.
But in this decade, Venice has become a real tentpole in award season.
Yeah.
Bill, tell us about the jury.
All right. Well, the jury is much more familiar to us than the last jury that we dealt with, so I don't think we need to go into too much detail with all of them. But anyway,
no cinephiles.
No cinephiles. That apparently is not the moneymaker that it used to be. Our jury president this year is Vincent Lindon, who we know best for Titane recently.
That's right.
But I've seen him in like a billion French movies. He was in a movie with Sigourney Weaver in the 80s called Half Moon Street, where he's naked. And 1980s Vincent Lindon had a very nice little rack.
What did the tea leaves say? Do we think it's a chubby penis? Do we think it's anything to write home about?
I don't think it's anything to write home about. It's probably chubby and not that long.
Hey, that's a moment. We can work with that.
Well, listen, a dick is a dick is a dick. I'm not going to complain.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I've only ever experienced one where I was like, oh, I can't. That's... Yeah. And the guy was a real jerk, and I was like, now I understand why, and I decided to be kind. Anyway, and that's only one that I've experienced like that. And while I'm not the, head of the class like some people in this room, I've had my fair share. Okay?
Keep going.
Also on this, so Vincent Lindon, right, who had also a few years before this won Best Actor at Cannes for what's that movie called? Measure of a Man, I think.
Still not seen it. Is The Measure of the Man chubby and short?
Anyway, go on. Go on. I'm supposed to go on. Bill, go on. All right. Also on the jury, we have Asghar Farhadi, Iranian director, Academy Award winner for 2 Best Foreign Language Film Oscars for A Separation and The Salesman, the latter of which also won a prize at Cannes. He also directed a beautiful film called The Past, which I loved, and then more recently A Hero, and is currently filming a movie with Isabel. So despite his legal troubles of the last couple of years, it looks like he's back in action.
All right.
Yeah. On this jury, we also have Rebecca Hall, an English actress that I have kind of turned around on because I was never a huge fan of her as an actor, but I really did like the film that she directed, Passing, and I hope she makes more. I've also never disliked her as an actress. I was just never really turned on to her. She also walked by me once when I was in New York waiting to meet Isabel, and she is 7 feet tall. She is a very tall girl.
I actually liked her as Christine Chebik.
I haven't seen that movie. Yeah.
It's good, and her mom is played by Kenneth Lonergan's wife. I love her.
Oh, J. Smith Cameron.
Yeah.
I should see that movie. It might be that I haven't seen her in the role that's really going to make me get her. But anyway, but she's fine. Probably most famous for Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Or The Town, one of the two.
Oh, yeah. We also have Lajli, French director, best known for his 2019 film Les Miserables, which was nominated for a Best Foreign Language Film Oscar, which is called that. It's not actually an adaptation of Victor Hugo. It's about life in the banlieue.
Do we call it Les Mis?
It's a good movie.
I saw it with you and Elva.
Did you? I thought I saw that with Tamila.
No, I think it's fine. I thought it was a bit UNICEF-y.
Yeah, okay. We also have Jeff Nichols, American director and screenwriter. I loved Mud. I really liked Loving. He also did that Midnight Express. What's that movie called? Not Midnight Express. Midnight's Children?
Midnight Special.
Midnight Special. I didn't like that movie. But overall, I do like him. I think he's cool. We have Indian actress Deepika Padukone, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Deepika. She is very famous in India. She has a huge career over there. And then in the West is best known for her role in Triple X Return of Xander Cage. And good for her. I hope she made a billion more dollars off of that. We have Muscle Tits herself, Noomi Rapace, Swedish actress. Burst onto the scene with the superior version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which she was great in. She's also in Prometheus, and she's in a million other things. She played Isabel's daughter in Dead Man Down with Colin Farrell. Cool actress. I like her a lot. We have, speak of this year's award season, we have Joachim Trier, Norwegian director and screenwriter, who has recently just had a huge success, winning second place at Cannes with Sentimental Value, and will for sure be nominated in at least one Oscar category next month.
Yeah.
A film that I really enjoyed. I had to watch it a second time for it to really open up to me, because I saw it with Greek subtitles in Greece the first time, and I find those open air theaters very distracting, but I really liked that movie.
Same.
I liked it more than The Worst Person in the World, which is a movie that, that I liked more than you did, but I still also was not as overwhelmed by it as The World was. Overall, he's good. He made one of the worst Isabel movies I've ever seen, called Louder Than Bombs. But he also did that movie Oslo, August 31st, which is a remake of The Fire Within with Anders Danielsen Leah, and it was really good. And lastly, we have Italian actress Jasmine Trinca, who I really like. She actually made her debut in The Sun's Room, the Palme d'Or winner,
I saw
which
that.
we will talk about soon. And she's also more recently in Nanni Moretti's A Brighter Tomorrow, the Dand d'Or winner. But I've seen her in many things. I really enjoyed her in this movie that was kind of a tribute to Hal Hartley called Simple Women that I saw at TIFF, that she was very good in. So that is our jury of 9 people, I believe. I believe it's, 4 women, 4 men? Yeah.
You got 9.
Greg, it's time for the big show.
Big show. We start with our other award winners. Winning the Grand Jury Prize, we had an ex aequo situation. It seemed somebody wanted to repeat what Spike Lee did the year before by giving out tons of awards.
Yeah.
First off, we have Close by Lukas Dhont, a co-production between Belgium, Netherlands, and France, which was selected by Belgium for the International Feature nomination at the Academy Awards. It was shortlisted and then finally nominated. This movie, I didn't write down any of the plot descriptions, but I can do them all from memory. This movie is basically about 2 elementary school age boys who have a sort of pre-linguistic social bond, and then they start to come apart when other kids at school start teasing them for seeming too gay for each other.
They actually tease them for seeming like they're in a relationship. These kids don't seem homophobic about it.
So, well, that's just it. It's like kids at that age don't actually have all the same discourse that we get caught up in when we're older. And that is what the movie is exploring. And so much of the way the movie works is in what's not said but understood and what's communicated through glances and body language. The movie is inspired by a nonfiction Dhont read by a psychologist named Niobe Wei. The book was called Deep Secrets, Boys' Friendships, and the Crisis of Connection. I just want to read you this quote because it's powerful and it gets to the bottom of what is interesting about the movie. When I read these testimonies of these 150 boys that aren't necessarily queer, I realized that making it only about a queer experience would limit it to that. While it is not only about a queer experience, it's about the young male experience because young men are not given that space to express themselves in that way. It gives you a place as an audience to interpret that experience as you want. But it's not about their sexuality, it's about how their intimacy and their sensuality are looked upon and how we are conditioned to look at it. How we want to compartmentalize everyone into boxes and labels, and how we want to put a stamp on that love and not let that love just exist in its true, free form. It's pretty special, right?
I love this movie a lot. I find this movie so deeply touching. And what I love in particular about it, and that I really focused on the second time I watched it, I love that it gets to the heart of what you're talking about by not creating any artificial boundaries around them. These kids both have two parents.
Yeah.
Of course, it's okay if you don't. But they both have two loving parents. They are both of the same class. It's not like one feels inferior to the other because he's wealthier than the other. It's this beautiful world. I love that his family are flower farmers because then it creates these gorgeous images on film. They have a good home life. They have a good school life. The kids like them even though they tease them. And the adults aren't failures around them. But even with all of that, there is still this crisis of masculinity that the movie is insinuating basically just comes with the hormonal upgrade that is puberty, that this boy does not mean to react to in this negative way, but he can't help it. And of course he means nobody any harm. So it's so tragic that he feels so responsible. And, I think we've already said we do spoilers on this show.
Yeah.
That his best friend commits suicide. First of all, I love the scene where they come back from the trip and you just know immediately something's wrong, the way they call roll call.
Yeah.
And he just looks around the bus and he just knows something's wrong. And then he just feels guilty because he'd been pushing his best friend away, but not for the reason that he wanted him to not be friends. He was just the growing pains of growing up and the fact that we don't all develop at the same rate. And that he didn't need the same kind of validation that the other boy needed. I can't remember their names. I just think it's such a beautiful film. It's so nice to see a movie that expresses sympathy in such a genuinely touching way. I also just love the method of this film. First of all, the colors. Everyone's always standing in front of like a bright, solid color all the time indoors. And also that it plays out in these like short bursts of energy that really give us the feeling of the ephemeral joys of childhood. I think it's an exceptionally good movie. And then, of course, added to that is the tragedy that we lost Amélie Dequesne last year, who plays the deceased boy's mother. She died of cancer at the age of 43.
She's a Best Actress winner.
And she's a Best Actress Cannes winner. So we'll talk about her later on. So there's that added as well. So yeah, I'm fully on board for this film, and I'm fully on board for it winning second place.
Oh, that's great. It was one of two movies I didn't get to rewatch, but I'm also okay with it because I vividly remember it. It was stamped in my brain. I did not remember that Léa Drucker was in this by the time I watched her in last summer.
Yeah, and she's the other mom.
Yeah. Something I think that this movie gets across as well. It's true that hormones take over and make us ashamed of our bodies and of our feelings and things like that. But also, the movie is this sad cautionary tale about how, like, you can do your best job raising your kid.
I know.
And then school and extracurriculars and everything else out in the world outside of your home can get in the way.
Yeah, I know, and it's so sad because they're obviously worried about him because this obsession they have with no locked doors in the house and all that stuff. Not to sound cheesy, it's this movie about the fact that that there is enough love to go around in this world, and we just keep getting in its way, and and it's so nice to see something that's so beautiful and touching. The sentimentality all works exactly right, and
totally,
yeah, and also doesn't overdo the tragedy to be this preachy tale of what LGBT youths go through and all that stuff, which is, something that we should talk about, but it doesn't feel like a PSA.
Yeah. The sneering criticisms of the movie were that its tragic plot point is a bit manipulative and overcooked. Right. I don't agree. I actually think it really works.
No, and it's okay if when it comes to movies that are touching, sometimes you're not touched by them the way other people are, and that's okay. And also the boy who plays the lead character, I mean, that's an extraordinary performance.
Both of them are.
They both are, but there's obviously more weight on I can't remember their goddamn names. But the main character, because he's in the movie longer.
Dembreen, yeah.
The part where he starts crying when they're doing the cast,
Yeah.
and the doctor understandably thinks it's because of the pain of his broken arm and says, "Don't worry about it, you're doing great." And I just love how kind the doctor is, even though he doesn't know why he's really crying, because he's actually having a breakthrough. I use the word calibrated far too much when I'm reviewing movies, and it's so perfectly calibrated.
Dear listener, we will be talking about our second Grand Jury Prize winner when the time is right. Moving on to our Jury Prize, which also went to 2 movies and didn't need to.
Yeah.
First of all, we have The 8 Mountains, Les Otto Montagne, by Charlotte Vandermeersch and Felix van Groeningen. This is a co-production between Italy, Belgium, and France in the Italian language, set in the mountains outside of Milan and Turin, and a part of it is set in Nepal. This movie did really well in the year-end awards of the Italian film industry. It's based on a novel by Paolo Cognetti, which I had the chance to read before watching this movie, finishing both during a flu. That was really fun. And I cannot believe this movie is from the same guy who made Beautiful Boy.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was thinking of, he did that movie that was nominated for an Oscar, The Broken Circle Breakdown.
Never watched that one.
It was okay. It's fine. So I wasn't expecting much from this movie.
I mean, he can draw good performances. That's clear in Beautiful Boy. But that movie, it has so much cheese, like raclette.
Yeah.
And this movie, it really works. It is tonally so beautiful. It's about 2 young boys, one from the city, one from the mountains, developing a friendship throughout their whole life. That starts with over summers of their childhood, when one of them vacations and the other one's mountain town.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like My Brilliant Friend, we see how both of their lives change in different ways and take turns that were sort of faded by the lot they were given in life. Is that fair to say?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The title refers to a concept in Buddhism and in Indian cosmology, that the world is composed of 8 mountains separated by 8 seas, with a bigger 9th mountain at the center called Mount Meru. And one of the boys teaches the other that some people in life go around trying to climb all 8 mountains, while others just climb the one largest mountain their entire lives and see all the other mountains from the highest point. A really cool fact about this movie, and then we'll get into what we thought of it. The directors of this movie are life partners who learned Italian to effectively direct the actors. And I find that tremendous, because I cannot tell.
I think it's cultural appropriation, Greg. Fight me.
Bill, tell me what you thought of this movie.
I just love the idea of trying to set white Europeans against each other. I don't want to talk about this movie because I had this transcendent experience watching it. I couldn't believe how good it was. It burns inside me, and I know they make a cream for that, but it just... there's a fire inside me as a result of this movie that when I think about it is like this private, beautiful place that I go to. We're really starting out purple-hearted on this competition, I gotta say. But
hey, it gets worse. But
this movie is incredible.
I know.
Just on a physical level, the way that it's shot in a standard ratio, it's not shot in widescreen, it's shot in the Academy Square ratio.
That's right.
Which, when you do that to movies set on mountaintops, just makes everything look taller, which would have been incredible to see on a big screen. And I love that about it. It has narration, which I hate as much as you hate needle drops, and yet it makes it work. It also has needle drops that it survives quite nicely.
I can't believe how much they didn't piss me off.
It's also, I mean, we've all had this version of this friendship, right? Like people that you were close with as a kid, and then the fact that you come from different worlds becomes much more of a situation as you get older, and yet you reunite in these very strange and unusual ways. Like they're kids together, and then this break happens because the one boy's parents wants to take the other one to the city to give him an education, and then that really does not work out, and then they sort of skirting around each other for years, the one of them coming into the other one's bar while he's working in construction, and then this plan to rebuild the mountain home brings them back together as adults, and then sets the one off on a journey to Nepal, which is an incredible sequence as well. And that guy's so hot too, Luka whatever his name is. He's also in Martin Eden. They're both very handsome, and My Brilliant Friend is a good comparison, actually. It's also, he talks about how his father, he's 31 when his father died, and his dad had him at 31, which was very poignant for me. My dad was 46 when I was born, and he died when I was 46.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I don't know if that's a significant connection, but like this movie just made me think about things. It works on so many levels. It's incredible.
Yeah, it got me thinking about people who've come and gone in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's also beautiful. Like, it's beautiful, and it's thoughtful, and it's slow, and you soak it in slowly, and it's all enjoyable. I don't know. I was really amazed. And you and I watch a lot of movies. If we're amazed, that's amazing.
And just the texture of the mountains, of the water, like the movie really does make you feel like you're enjoying every step into the mountains. The last movie that made me really feel like the texture of nature like that was The Green Knight. But The Eight Mountains was not the only jury prize winner. It won alongside AO or EO
Ew.
from Jerzy Skolimowski, a co-production between Poland and Italy, which went on to be Poland's nomination for Best International Feature, and then won Best International Feature from 3 out of the 4 oldest critics groups. This movie is where we get to announce Isabel Watch.
Isabel Watch. Isabel Watch. Isabel Watch.
Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. And Isabel is in top form. She is sleeping with her stepson.
It's a donkey movie with a suggestion of incest, because Isabel is here.
Doing the work.
Doing the work. And looking so filtered. She looks like Madonna's Instagram photos when they do close-ups of her.
Oh my God, Bill, you named a bunch of other movies Isabel was in that was not in competition.
No, because
Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris in here.
I'm just covering Isabel's year in 2022. This movie was at Cannes. It's also her only movie that was at TIFF. So it was fellow Isabelican Tamila and I. It was our movie that we saw together at TIFF, which when you're going to TIFF for Isabel, this is kind of a disappointment, right? Because she's only in like one scene and it's not what the movie's about.
Yeah.
But in the same year, she was in About Joan, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, La Syndicaliste, Caravaggio's Shadow, and on stage, she was in The Glass Menagerie by Ivo van Hove. And in February of 2022, she won the Golden Bear Lifetime Achievement at Berlin. And also her daughter Lolita is in this year's film Forever Young, Les Amandiers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you barely saw her. Like, I recognized her in one long shot. She's the costumer when they're doing the play at the end.
Skolimowski has been to Cannes many times.
Yeah.
He's vintage. He was first there in the 70s with King, Queen, Knave, 1972, winning the Grand Prize with The Shout in 1978. We covered his Moonlighting, for which he won Best Screenplay in 1982. He was back with Success is the Best Revenge in 1984 and Torrents of Spring in 1989. EO was received as a return of a legendary director. And for a lot of people, including myself, an announcement of who he was, because he hadn't been around and a lot of us hadn't watched these earlier movies. And then, Criterion curates a series and now we finally all catch up on it. This movie cleaned up at the end of the year. It won so many foreign language film awards. It won so many cinematography awards and quite a few music awards. So I'm spellbound by how much I don't care for it. It's basically a loose adaptation of O Azar Balthazar, but with different episodes.
The symbolism of a donkey as the recipient of life's woes.
Tell me what you thought, Bill.
Well, I like it more than you do, but I still don't like. I'm on the same page as you. First of all, I am happy about the year of donkey cinema, because there was this. There was Triangle of Sadness. There was The Banshees of Inisherin.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was another one that I can't remember, but there was a lot of donkey movies. And I really, really love donkeys. You know
Same.
that I've been to the Donkey Sanctuary twice now. And I have my Donkey Sanctuary hat that I wear. They are animals that mean a great deal to me. And they also remind me of Jacob, because they have big ears and sad eyes.
And these are especially beautiful because they're Sardinian donkeys. And they have larger eyes, which are more expressive.
Yes, which our Donkey Sanctuary has them. So I got to see that cross design up close. They're just funny animals because, unlike horses are very skittish. Horses are prey animals. Donkeys are actually guard dogs in horse form. And they have a real insouciance about them, like they just seem happy to chill out and chew food. That you can't have donkeys around dogs, for instance, because they're both guard animals. And so they are natural enemies. Anyway, so yeah, it's an enjoyable movie. Its aesthetics are on point. It's very beautiful. It's beautifully scored. It's another movie that's also made in a square ratio, and I saw this in the IMAX screen at the Scotiabank
Oh,
during
cool.
TIFF, and so it was cool to see a movie like this on such a large format screen.
Very much.
Yeah, but at the same time, the more splendid your screening experience of it, the more it reveals that there isn't much to this movie. If you want to say that the surface is the point, then that's fine. It's not a movie that's trying to go very deep, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying when people are this excited about a movie that is so easy to apply to everybody's taste and understanding.
It's a very long excuse to say, "Aww."
Basically, yeah. And that annoys me, even though that is how donkeys make me feel. So yeah, so I've seen it a few times because I rewatched it for an article and then I watched it again for this podcast. And so it's not a movie I want to sit through again, but like when I watch it, I just sort of indulge in the pleasure of looking at one of my favorite animals because they really are a delight, and leave it at that.
You know, Bill, I once hooked up with a Sardinian guy who had a donkey dick, but I don't remember how expressive his eyes were.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were going to say you hooked up with the Sardinian donkey, and I would have believed it. No, it's a movie. Again, it's not a movie that's hard to figure out. The world is primarily concerned with consumption. He just wants his next meal. Everyone around him is seeking profit and glory and destruction. And how could we expect it to go well for him under those circumstances?
When this movie received its prize at the Cannes Film Awards, Skolimowski dedicated the prize to all 6 donkeys that played EO.
That's right.
Which received a loud ovation.
Mm-hmm. But I think the prize was mainly because they were happy to have him back. Because it was a comeback out of nowhere. In fact, I spoke to my friend who is a 80-year-old screenwriter who was shocked when I told him I saw this movie. He's like, Skolimowski is working? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, that gives me hope. I had no idea he was still alive.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
No, it's a sincere movie, and like he really loves the donkeys. It's I just wonder why he didn't make a documentary instead. Like that's where my brain goes when I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. And if he made this movie in the 80s, it wouldn't have been as well received because we're giving him a pass for the fact that he's an old man and this is the best he can do.
I mean, hey, it's way better than what Jean-Luc Godard did at that age.
Absolutely.
Winning Best Actor, a legendary workhorse of an actor from South Korea, Song Kang-ho, for Broker by Hirokazu Kore-eda, a Japanese director working, I think, for the first or second time in South Korea in the Korean language. We've talked about Kore-eda a couple of times. We will talk about him many more. He has been in competition before with Distance in 2001. We'll be talking about that in a couple of months. Nobody Knows in 2004. He won the jury prize for Like Father, Like Son in 2013. He was back with Our Little Sister in 2015. He won the Palm in 2018 for Shoplifters, and then won a screenplay award for Monster in 2023.
Yeah, he didn't win it, but yeah.
That's right. The movie did.
Mm-hmm.
This movie also won the Ecumenical Jury Award, which is like it's like a
prize from the church,
which usually goes to
a movie that upholds a moral standard in some way.
Yeah, but they usually pick at least good movies that have a moral standard.
It's true. Yeah, they don't pick
Drek. Yeah. This movie I saw in theater by myself. This is the other movie I did not get to rewatch, and I remember liking it enough, not as much as Shoplifters, certainly more than Monster. And I think Song Kang-ho is really good in it. This movie is about this phenomenon in Korea, but also in Japan has a version of it. It's an adoption system where you can leave babies in a box, and then people will come and deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's about how this sort of non-normative family structure that forms when these underground adoption people take this baby out of a box to go find it a new home, but they get caught up with the young mother.
Yeah, they're like subcontracting babies out of their workplace because they are illegally selling them on the black market. It's never a good sign if your adoption happens in a wharf. That's the thing we know from this movie. Many of his films concern expanding the idea of family. This is a common theme for him.
Yeah, the non-normative family structure.
Yeah.
The working title was Baby Box Broker, and then he just stuck to Broker because the bespoke broker changes throughout the film from one character to another, and he liked how it worked like a palimpsest like that.
Mm-hmm.
The person wanting to sell the baby inverts as the story unfolds. He knew he always wanted to work with Song Kang-ho, so this movie was kind of like a gift to him. He wrote it with him in mind. which makes it all the more precious that then Song Kang-ho wins for the movie.
I love Song Kang-ho. At this point that he wins this, he's also already an icon for Parasite, if not so many other things. He's given many great performances. I'm happy that he has a Cannes prize, but he could have won for many other performances that are better. And there are a lot of candidates for Best Actor in this competition that I could have picked above him in this film. It would actually make more sense for a Volvera Award for Best Actress for this movie, for the women in it, than it does for him. But I'm also not mad at it either. It's like a lot of more recent Kore-eda. He's really softened in his older years, and I've always enjoyed his sort of tough, sentimental movies, but now they're just sentimental. And this movie has, the grace and sensitivity that he treats all of his characters with, but I don't feel a deep affection for any of the characters the way I do in the best of his movies. And so it is also a movie that, like yourself, I liked it well enough.
Yeah. And just to correct myself, it's his second film in a non-Japanese language. The Truth was in French.
That was before that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this movie's win for Song Kang-ho marks the first time a South Korean actor won Best Actor at Cannes.
Yeah, again, which is why I'm not mad at
No.
it. I mean, the South Korean actress had one, but and that's great. I just all things being equal, and in my world where there's no struggle for representation and we choose things based solely on merit, I would have given him an award for Parasite more than I would for this. I've just enjoyed him in other things more.
This movie did well in South Korea. It was number 11 at the year-end box office, right behind Decision to Leave. Winning Best Actress, Zar Amir Ebrahimi for Holy Spider by Ali Abbasi. Co-production between Denmark, Sweden, France, and Germany, but in the Farsi language because Ali Abbasi could not film this in Iran.
Wonder why.
Yeah, Abbasi would be back in 2024 with another movie that struck controversy called The Apprentice. Have you heard of it?
No.
Zara Mir Ibrahimi won this award for her performance in this film, and that was really cool to see because her and Abbasi told a story about how they tried for a really long time to find an actress to play the journalist protagonist in this movie. They finally thought they got somebody, and then in the last week before the shooting was supposed to start, that actress bowed out of the shoot because she got cold feet. She was scared of the content too much and what backlash she might receive from the Iranian government. And
as we know, she was not outrageously paranoid. Yeah.
In the last days before the shoot had to start, finally, Zara Mir Ibrahimi and Ali Abbasi reconsidered the possibility that she, who was the casting director, could audition for the part since they had no other options. And what a miracle. She's fantastic in it. This movie is based on a real story of a serial killer in the early 2000s. But what was so controversial about it was that he was in the holy city of Mashhad killing sex workers, and the police did a really lazy job catching him, and journalists did try to uncover this and were constantly met with resistance from authorities because it was found that this guy was doing, in a way, he was doing God's will or doing or doing good by the moral codes of Islam. There was a really powerful documentary about an hour long that you can watch on YouTube called And Along Came a Spider, not to be mistaken with the Monica Potter movie. And
the Morgan Freeman movie? Yeah.
Yeah, the James Patterson movie. This movie borrows heavily from sequences of that documentary, including a scene where the serial killer's son is on live television acting out how his father would kill women.
Right.
In a sort of adoring way.
Not accurately, as per the movie.
Yeah. Yes,
He turns him into an action hero, even though his father was actually a bumbling fool. But yeah.
Totally. This movie could fill a 2-disc criterion with how much there is on the internet about it. It's well documented, especially about how hard it was to make the movie and how impressive it was that it was able to make streets of Jordan look like Mashhad, Iran.
Well, I mean, it's the Middle East, yeah.
No, but they have to get cars that are only made in Iran.
Oh, okay.
They try to move a car to another country, they're onto you. They know that you want to.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why it's so potent for us is because so much beautiful poetry and cinema and culture continues to come out of this country, who want so badly to have a regime change,
right?
But also don't want it done by fucking NATO, because then the whole country will be upended and then you get like a Libya situation. So like they're just caught in a bind.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about this movie? Tell me what you thought of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other thing to talk about is that she got like 200 death threats after winning her prize for this movie. And, the government accused it of blasphemy. People were calling for executions. The Iranian Organization of Cinema and Audiovisual Affairs, which operates under the auspices of the Ministry of Culture and Islamic Guidance, released a statement calling the film shameless obscenity and condemning the Cannes Film Festival for awarding it an award, which they called an insulting and politically motivated move. So it's like you can't even choose a movie without risking World War III breaking out. I enjoyed sitting through this movie a second time more than I thought I would. I mean, it's pretty good. Like I said, I really wish my dick was as hard as that dildo she goes down on at the beginning of the film, which is like my first indication. I'm like, I don't think this was shot in Iran for this to have this sexually explicit a scene. I feel like there's a bit of an overindulgence in graphic sex and violence in this movie as a way to make sure that I don't miss this message about sick societies producing sick minds.
Criminal minds, in fact.
Yeah, and it kind of undercuts the performances with this very on-the-nose dramatization of these true life events. I really admire whatever pushback there is in that country, and we'll talk about it a little with the other film too, of women standing up for their rights, because it is a country that, as we see from this movie, the law does not protect women from being harmed if they don't toe the lines. But also, are these women just symbols of victimhood? Do we ever find out about their lives, how they feel about their lives, whether or not they got into drugs out of necessity? Are they survival sex workers, or were they just having too much fun and they got stuck? How do they feel about, and do they feel like they brought this all on themselves? Because that is possibly how they feel, even though that's not how I feel.
You're asking a lot, Bill. You know that in movies there are only sassy hookers
that's right.
and sad hookers. Yeah, I think everything you say is fair. The biggest thing that I think is a knock against this movie is that she's just too virtuous. Like, even down to the point that she lost her last job because of sexism. Like, it would have been more nuanced if she lost her last job because she was adulterous. And then we have to learn that actually people contain multitudes, and she can still be right about this serial killer and be good at her job. Yeah. But she has to be like so much of a moral victor. Mm-hmm. That makes me like her performance all the more, because she's compensating for really bad characterization.
Yeah. But I still could have picked another Best Actress winner, happily. It's another one where I'm not upset at it, but I could have easily picked someone else.
No, I don't need this movie to win anything, actually.
Yeah.
Same with Broker. Winning Best Director, Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave from South Korea. Park Chan-wook had won the Grand Jury Prize in 2004 with Old Boy. He was back winning the jury prize, I thought, for Thirst in 2009. Mm-hmm. And then was back winning nothing for a very acclaimed movie in the notorious year of 2016 for The Handmaiden. This movie was a smash hit with critics, and it did quite well commercially as well. As international films go, it was the 10th highest-grossing film in South Korea, and was the top streamed movie on Mubi, its American distributor, for a long time after it came out. I won't go through all of the critics' prizes it won. Let that say that it did so well until not getting any nominations at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, which was a shock.
Yeah, it was quite a shock. If not for any other reason, the movie is so virtuosic.
Yeah.
This movie is inspired by the detective books of Martin Beck, and is also inspired by Vertigo. And it's about how do we describe this plot without pausing and pulling up the plot line? A guy's a detective who falls in love with the widow of some guy who mysteriously has fallen off a mountain. Mm-hmm. He begins to suspect that she may have killed her husband while falling in love with her, and he starts to screw up his detective work, his investigation. And then sort of the return of the repressed will come into play as he resolves his case, and then it comes back in future detective cases. This movie has so much going on. It is so full. It's so brimming with ideas and images. It's so eclectic. Depending on what day you watch it on, you might even say it's a bit messy or ridiculous, but it's so invigorating.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy I rewatched it, because the first time I watched it, I dozed in the theater. I went to the theater tired.
I was shocked by the people who told me that they were unenthused by it, because I really loved this movie a lot.
I'm ready to watch it again. Like, I find this movie so compelling, so
Yeah.
watchable.
I think this is the movie Almodovar wanted to make when he made The Skin I Live In. It has a similar vibe to it. So much style in the direction, but there's also feeling. And so we've talked about this off mic, which is that like the three most famous Korean filmmakers for us North Americans are him, Bong Joon-ho, and Lee Chang-dong.
Yeah.
And I love Lee Chang-dong the most of those three. I think you said the same.
Yeah.
Burning and
Poetry
and Secret Sunshine. And I like Park Chan-wook the least of those three.
Agreed.
Because I find that he is really stylish and clever, super unpredictable movies, but he's really obsessed with the clockwork, and I find that there isn't enough humor, joy, or passion in them. I felt that way about his latest film, No Other Choice, which is getting a lot of positive attention, and I was just okay with. And Decision to Leave is a exception to this because it is extremely original and exciting and stylish, but it's sexy too. Like the undercurrent of the tension between them and his obsession with her and all that stuff. It's so palpable. I don't know. I really like it. And then just this theme, like everyone's got everyone under surveillance in this movie, which I find really, really, really cool. And then just the details of it. The way they clean the desk after they eat sushi before they continue their interrogation.
I love the imagery of mountains and sea being threaded through the whole thing, like even on the walls. And I think there's a quote in it about there's some Taoist quote about like no, it's from Confucius. It's about like looking to the sea when you're supposed to be looking at the mountains.
Yeah, it's a year of mountains. It's a year of mountains and donkeys.
I think what I love about this movie so much, it's sprawling. Its messiness is actually it's one of its most endearing qualities.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of like a living, breathing being. Depending on the day I watch it, I'll find it brilliant, but also ridiculous and a bit stupid, and funny and sorrowful.
Yeah,
it feels like so much experience, and I think it ties up nicely. It tells a whole story. It wraps it up. But so many times it's about to go off the rails.
The only plot hole, and that might just be that I wasn't paying attention, is that she switches phones, but then she gets a confirmation call on the other phone when she goes to the mountain. She had switched phones with the old lady, but for some reason she got a call. And, like, did she switch SIM? Like, what did she do? That's it. Or I missed something. Anyway, small quibble.
Yeah, let's just err towards guessing that you're stupid.
Okay, great. Thank you. So glad I got dressed up for this.
And that was Decision to Leave.
Hi, Fresh.
Winning Best Screenplay. Depending on where you are, it could be called Karo Conspiracy or Boy from Heaven, Walad Min Al-Jannah, by Tarik Saleh, co-production between Sweden, France, and Finland. Because just like Ali Abbasi, he could not make this movie in an Arab country.
Yeah, he didn't. He shot it in Turkey, right?
Yeah, like he couldn't make it in a country where he descends from, is what I mean to say. Yeah. I know he's not Persian. Saleh was back again this past year with Eagles of the Republic, which completes a trilogy of films he's made with Fares, who I don't think, other than Song Kang-ho, there's anybody as unique looking as.
Yeah, when he shows up in this movie, I thought it was a racist makeup to look like Judd Hirsch. Yeah.
Well, when he shows up on red carpets, like with his Phil Spector, Gwyneth Paltrow glasses and his like low cut silk tops, like something's working.
Yeah.
This was Sweden's selection for international feature film in the same year that Holy Spider was Denmark's contribution, which I just find so
and
unique.
It was just an accident. Is France's submission?
This is happening more and more.
Sacred Fig is Germany's submission.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting to me.
Yeah.
This was shot mostly at a mosque in Turkey. Turkey keeps coming up as a prospective place to film it in this year's roster.
And I'm gonna guess there's a lot of digital backgrounds in this movie.
Possibly.
And maybe that university campus is that glorious, but like when they're walking around, it looks like they're in an ancient Roman epic from the 60s.
I know I watched it on Canopy on my phone mostly, so like I didn't catch this. It was just the way I had to watch movies this week. I was doing some cramming.
We get it. You're important. We get it.
I am important. This movie is inspired in plot by Umberto Eco's The Name of the Rose. Mm-hmm. I've never seen it, the movie with Sean Connery. I've never read the book.
I haven't seen it since I was young, but I remember being really I remember thinking it was really cool. It's probably terrible, but I remember thinking it was super cool.
Oh, cool. It's also inspired by the experiences of Saleh's grandfather's migration from a poor and remote area to a big city, and the sacrifices and trade-offs that he made in that journey.
You could also call it the Egyptian Un Prophète, or a precursor to Conclave.
I definitely thought of both of those movies while watching this. I understand why this movie won Best Screenplay because it is very intricately plotted. It's a thriller about the killing of a grand imam and then a plot to place a new one in his place by nefarious factions.
The grand imam died of natural causes. It's the killing of the student that's involved in the machinations to place the new grand imam in place.
Yes.
Because there's been this decades-long struggle that the Egyptian government has always wanted to have control over. Oh my God, what's the university called? Which is basically the center of academia in the Islamic world, and has always done a good job of keeping politics out of, keeping keeping political control out. And they're looking to install a grand imam who will change that. And then this detective gets involved and gets this young student who's there basically on what we would call a scholarship to be his sleeper agent, getting involved in all the dirty underdealings. And also those dorm beds are my nightmare.
Oh yeah, no, I was definitely getting Private Pile nightmares watching all of everything in that dorm. Also, the detail of him being clean shaven is not accurate. That was just for cinematic effect.
Right.
This movie, I get why it wins Best Screenplay. It's suspenseful. It takes a lot of turns. I will say though that something happens with its energy where it starts off very thrilling and eerie, and then it just kind of feels like a bicycle descending down a hill onto a beach. Like it doesn't even crash. It just kind of.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still really liked it, but
totally
it definitely is not fully satisfying by the end. There was something missing for me.
Like a final set piece.
Yeah.
Or one more reveal. It just needed something to.
Yeah. A turn of events to show some kind of irony that makes it all feel like it locks in.
Yeah. Still like good pulp. Really well dressed up.
I was deep in. I was never bored. I didn't want it to be over. Like I was locked in the whole time.
Yeah, we just get to the credits and you kind of go, oh, it's done.
Yeah.
And then because Cannes does this, there was a 75th anniversary prize. They do like these jubilees. I don't even know. Do they do them every 5 years?
They do them I think so. I think it is every 5 years. Yeah.
It's another reason to give an award.
Yeah, and it's probably something that is left up to the jury if they want to.
Probably.
Yeah.
And this year it went to two unknowns named Jean-Pierre and Luc Dardenne from Belgium. The movie is a co-production between Belgium and France. Mm-hmm. Jean-Pierre and Luc Dardenne won this prize for Tori et Lokita. And what do we say about Dardennes? They've been here a lot. We're not going to name every one of their awards. They are institutions. This movie received generally positive reviews and then was never talked about. It got picked up by Janus Films for the Criterion Channel. It was just like positively received and then forgotten about. This movie is about the struggles between two... Ooh, I gotta get the country right. Where are they from?
She's from Cameroon and he's from Benin. And they've basically survived what is very likely a difficult migration struggle that has linked them to each other to feel like siblings. So they're trying to convince the government that they are siblings because he's got his papers and she doesn't, is basically the story. And she's trying to legalize her residency in Belgium by insisting that he's her brother. I really appreciate the fact that first of all, they make movies about how rare human kindness is in this world. Yeah. And they do it in this very affecting and subtle way where kindness, when it happens, is the exception and is magical. Yeah. And that's so heartbreaking. But they also make sure that we get to know these characters as people and that they never become symbols of a message, which is a very dangerous track to pull off with, a story about the migration crisis.
Do they, though?
I feel like they do.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they could have gone further. But yeah, I feel that they do. I feel that there's something particularly individual about her connection to him. The problem is that there isn't a good enough job of justifying it. Like, she's doing all these things to survive. They're playing like the hype ups for this shitty karaoke cafe bar whose owner also sexually abuses her and has them peddling marijuana on the streets.
That's right.
Dealing for him. Personal cannabis possession in Belgium has been decriminalized since 2003, but it's still an illegal substance. I researched that because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was
And they're
wondering why it
really
was weed.
exploited by him. Like, they make him hundreds and hundreds of euros, and he hands them like a $50 bill and gives them like a piece of bruschetta.
Yeah, they're living Los Olvidados.
Yeah, and then she's getting it from all angles. Like they're the people who brought her over and are wanting her to pay, and her mom's yelling at her on the phone because she's like, if you're not sending money home, it's because you're spending it on yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
this girl doesn't have a break. So she eventually is disappointed in her effort to get her papers. So she agrees to basically go live at his grow op for 2 months in hiding alone.
Yeah, she's gone to live in room.
Yes, and she can't do it long enough because she needs to see Lokita is the boy.
Yeah.
Is the boy or the girl? I can't remember.
No, he's Lokita. Yeah, I think so.
She needs to see him. Like, she can't go that long without seeing him. And it's like, all right, like, I get it. But at the same time, I don't know that I really believe. If you're willing to do this ridiculously crazy, dangerous thing to get your papers and make money, you can't be that reasonable enough to just park it for 2 months.
She reminded me of the mom in Funny Games, where I'm like, you ran away from the house wrong.
Yeah, and it's like, of course I don't want to be judgmental of this character because...
No, I'm judgmental of the movie.
Right, because she is, and of course her outcome is so tragic in its banality, if nothing else. But at the same time, the movie doesn't do a good enough job of making me... And I know that she's on anti-anxiety meds and all this stuff, but like, there's just a point at which her behavior makes me feel judgmental about her, and I don't want to be, and it makes me mad at the movie. And that's it's one major flaw.
Yeah, and I guess I felt all I knew about these characters, but they were victims. I think the Dardennes were really interested in exploring an injustice in a broken system, and they, instead of starting at building out two characters. That's really what I felt watching.
Yeah, because you don't see them like having fun. You don't see them rebelling or anything like that. But the thing I find amazing about their movies is that they can make stories about such hard realities that aren't a slog to sit through.
This one moved. I mean,
they always do that. Their movies always move.
Pace is not a problem with this movie.
Yeah.
And it's over and done with pretty quickly.
But Lorna's Silence is a movie that's also about, people from worse parts of the world coming to Northern Europe in search of something better. And it's a much better film. But I don't know. I still like this movie. I liked it more than you did, but
it's one of 3 movies that if I was, on assignment, I would have compared this movie with Armageddon Time and Mother and Son,
right?
And how they work through certain themes,
right?
Making tragic figures that turn out to just be symbols. But one of those 3 movies finally does it right for me. And speaking of Armageddon Time.
It's Armageddon time, Armageddon time.
Armageddon Time, or Did You Know I Had a Black Friend?
By the way, one time I had a black friend.
James Gray grew up in, is this Queens?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, this movie's about him growing up in Queens. James Gray is a fond over auteur. By the time he made this movie, was so loved that people were ready to really give into this personal autobiographical project, the same way they did with The Fabelmans.
Well, and this is the year of COVID projects as well. All these directors dealing with lockdown by deciding to get personal and turn their diaries into movies, because there's The Fabelmans, and there's Belfast as well.
That's right.
And you know how we felt about all 3 of those.
Yeah. Gray has been at Cannes many times. He was first there in 2000 with the very botched by Weinstein, The Yads.
The Yads.
He was back in 2007 with We Own the Night, which you can hear our opinions of in our 2007 episode.
We own the night, belongs to lovers.
Oh, I was thinking, we belong to the night. We belong.
We belong together.
He was back with Two Lovers in 2008, what many people say is his best movie, and The Immigrant in 2013.
I've loved all of his movies, which has made it like I've loved all his movies, and it made me that much more shocked at how much I did not like Armageddon Time, which we saw together in the movie theater. The movie theater was completely empty.
Yep.
And so we're like, great, we don't have to whisper. And then a woman walked in halfway through the film and sat down in the front row. And me being Canadian, I'm like,
why do you remember that?
Because I was like, oh, I guess now we can't talk?
As soon as the credits rolled, Bill turned to me and said, that was a dowdy movie.
Yeah. It is a dowdy movie.
Yeah. This movie is asking a lot of its audience in terms of suspending our disbelief, especially when it comes to Anthony Hopkins playing Jewish and saying chutzpah
And
and
Mensch.
mensch.
Yeah.
So this movie is about Gray growing up in Queens in a Jewish family, and he's going to public school at the same time as his brother going to private school,
Hmm.
and he's getting into trouble. Specifically, around the same time, he's becoming friends with this kid who's been held back a grade, who's a black kid who's not performing well in school, and is basically, we're dealing with the Eight Mountains kind of situation, where the movie's about how two kids, their prospects in life are informed by their circumstances, and they're both treated differently in the education system because of the circumstances they're born into. Unfortunately, the black kid is only a symbol in a cipher and does not actually a real character.
Yeah, and all the situations that this movie treats thoughtfully, it doesn't treat insightfully in any particular
No.
way. And so you have a non-poignant Squid and the Whale is what you have, or a non-wise Crimes and Misdemeanors. The other thing that I think the film is trying to get at, which I appreciate, is the fact that this kid, our protagonist, something is very fun to him that is serious business for the other kid. And it's not until the end that he really appreciates that, like, he's not taking things seriously that are actually serious for the other guy. He just thinks the rebellion is fun and that it's all fun and games, that it's all reindeer games, basically.
Totally.
But it's actually life or death for the other kid. I need the kid to be a lot more sympathetic. It's going after 500. It's going after 400 blows treatment. But Antoine Doinel in the 400 blows is a kid that you're exasperated by, and you also love him so dearly. While as this kid, I was thrilled when his dad was going to beat the living shit out of him, and
with
I didn't want to feel that way. Yeah, when he got into that trouble and he told his dad to fuck you or whatever, I was like, oh, I hope he kills you. And I'm not that old man. Like, I'm not the guy who's like, kids today need to be given the strap or whatever. Like, I don't feel that way. So this movie is failing by giving me a protagonist that I feel so little sympathy for and who I am dying to see learn his lesson. And then it doesn't help that normally the mother in this movie would be a performance that, like, saves it all for me. But you have Anne Hathaway, who I do like more and more as time goes on. I think she's really ripening into somebody really wonderful, but like her playing Jewish is about as offensive as Anthony Hopkins doing it. And she's rather constrained in this role. She doesn't seem to have faith that we're going to take her seriously, and she doesn't seem sure of what she's doing. Especially when you compare her to a very impressive cameo by Jessica Chastain.
Oh my God.
As, is it Mary Trump? Was that her name?
Donald Trump's mom, anyway.
Sister. She's a sister. Mary Ann. Who died in 2023, and I don't remember it being on the news.
He's a private guy.
Donald? Yeah, he is.
Look at all of the scratch marks that there are on the Epstein files.
She was accused of tax fraud, so that whole family is just like winning on all points. But she actually hated her brother and said so, which might be also why we didn't hear it on the news. I don't know. His dad died in 1999 and 94, and if you see photos of him, they do a very good job of making that guy look like him in this movie.
Oh, that's cool.
But her cameo, like, she's so exactly, there's just a really strong characterization there in that one small moment.
She understands the assignment. It felt like she read the whole screenplay.
It's possible, and I don't want to hold this entirely against Anne Hathaway, it's possible she wasn't given the assignment, because I don't know if James Gray has figured out how he feels about all these memories that he is reenacting and dramatizing in this film.
Yeah, I wonder if every day he went on set with a new feeling about the story he was telling of his life.
Yeah.
We have an Arnaud Desplechin movie in competition, Frère et sœur, or Brother and Sister. Desplechin had been here in 1992 with The Sentinel. We talked about his My Sex Life, or How I Got Into an Argument, in 1996. He was back with Esther Kahn in 2000, with what is probably his best movie, A Christmas Tale, in 2008. Jimmy P, Psychotherapy of a Plains Indian, in 2013. And Oh Mercy in 2019. This movie this is how I would describe it. Do you remember in 1996 when, on the same day, Stephen King released Desperation and The Regulators, and they were basically alternate universe versions of the same story? This movie is just a reworking of A Christmas Tale, like right down to the same character names being used. You've just got Marion Cotillard and Melville Poupeau in his first lead role in a Cannes competition film, I found out, playing the Anne Consigny and Mathieu Amalric characters.
Yeah, it's also Kings and Queen.
Desplechin has an affinity for telling stories about love-hate relationships between siblings, and he's done it well, and he's not doing it very well in this. Even still, I think I liked this movie a bit, or I could tolerate this movie a bit more than you. It's about two siblings who hate each other over years, and it comes to a head when their parents get in a car accident and they have to face each other in the hospital. Even though the plotting gets what?
Can we talk about why their parents are in the hospital? Because
this is funny to you?
It's like a scene out of a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This woman, I think she's pregnant, right? This woman spins out of control, crashes into a tree as this old couple is driving by. So they stop to help her. And while they stop to help her, a truck comes careening down the road out of control, like something from The Fugitive, and crashes into them. And they end up in the hospital. The wife is in a coma. The old man is severely injured. He wakes up, maybe ease up on telling your dad everything that's going on the second he wakes up after a devastating accident. Like, his eyes are halfway open. They're like, your wife's in a coma. By the way, you're completely injured. Anyway, go on.
Her reason for hating him is so unjustified. You're supposed to not take a side. It's supposed to be like the corrections where all three siblings are equally insufferable. But no, he should hate her. And that's where the movie goes wrong for me. And still, in and out, this movie keeps having moments of poignant dialogue that is just misplaced in a movie that doesn't have a sensible story.
I'm surprised you feel that way. I think this movie's so fucking stupid. Because as you say, the feud is not justified. She's mad at him because he wrote books in which a character based on her is unflattering to her.
But she's especially mad that he's self-sufficient because she liked when he was dependent on her.
Well, because in the end, she basically says, I'm a really angry person. I'm angry at everybody. We never really get to understand that vibe of her character. And it's not because of Marion Cotillard, who I will go to my grave defending no matter what she does, because I think she's a flawless actress who can do fucking anything. But the script doesn't make sense. Why do you care that your brother wrote an unflattering book about you? If you were a private person who was dragged into the spotlight by this, that would make sense. But you're a famous actress. So what's going on that you haven't talked to your brother for 20 years or whatever? And at one point she comes to the hospital and is told your brother's here and she faints. Like, she hates him so much that she fucking faints.
Oh, the fainting is so stupid.
It's so stupid.
If someone harbors that much anger and then goes on stage and performs as Angelica Houston in The Dead, how do you think that materializes?
Probably well, because there's a lot of emotional energy there for you to give on stage and make the audience. I mean, I love that choice of The Dead because I love that story. I love that movie. Me too. My Criterion DVD is on its way to me.
Oh my God, I forgot they're making a Criterion of it. Oh my God.
But at the same time, why did we choose that story as an intertextuality with this movie? What relevance does it have?
Well, I mean, it's on a poster also with the brothers Karamazov. I don't know. I think he's just showing off that he's well read.
Arnaud Desplechin broke out with internationally with Kings and Queen. That's the first time that I remember the international community talking about him. That movie was highly acclaimed, and I thought it was pretty good. And then he made A Christmas Tale, which I loved. You loved. We all loved. And then I have fucking hated everything he's done since. And he's gone from being somebody where I'm like, I have to see that because it's him, to the two good movies being the exceptions to the rule, because I've hated everything.
Oh, I love My Sex Life. I think that movie is like French Whit Stillman. Bill's face.
I called you stupid, but I edited it out.
Moving on. Here we've got a very celebrated movie. Let's get into it. Crimes of the Future by David Cronenberg. A co-production between Canada, France, UK, and Greece, because Cronenberg first came to Cannes after great success in body horror with Crash in 1996, then came back again with Spider in 2002. He was back with A History of Violence in 2005, Cosmopolis in 2012. We talked about Maps to the Stars in 2014, for which Julianne Moore won Best Actress. And he was back again in 2024 with The Shrouds, which is popping up quite a bit on top 10 lists at this moment.
Whatever.
This movie was Film Comment's #1 movie in its year-end poll in 2022. Let's get into it. First, how do we talk about the plot?
What's it about?
Okay. Okay, so these two performance artists, played by Viggo Mortensen and Booby Boobs Boobs.
Léa Seydoux.
That's right. They take place in a future where pollution is transforming human bodies.
And technology.
Technology.
Cronenberg's movies are always about the effect that technology is having on our physical being. This is what Videodrome is about. There are no concerns or obsessions in this movie that are in any way new to his oeuvre.
No, but people were just so relieved to see him making a body horror movie for the first time since Existence.
And people are growing new organs, new, like, strangely, possibly useless organs in this world. And there's
different political stances on it. One is that, no, this is actually our rightful evolution.
Right, and there's a group of people who are, like, eating plastic because that's what their bodies can process now.
Yeah, and then there's other people who believe, no, actually, the more that these growths grow inside you, they're jamming up your body and killing you.
Right. And he and his surgeon, his former surgeon turned performance artist, do performances where she surgically removes them while people watch. And there's this phenomenon happening of her opening him up and the organs are already tattooed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bill, did you know that surgery is the new sex?
This movie is about a subculture, but it doesn't do a good enough job of talking about the main culture. So it's all just gobbledygook jargon for 2 hours. It's all people describing theories of things, but there's no drama. So it's fine if there are people who have a cultish love of this movie that, you know, where they like it more than I do. They can sit through it easier than I do. There's something they think cool about it. But the fact that something like Film Comment thought it was the #1 movie of the year, I'd like to know why, because I didn't feel like I watched a movie. I felt like I watched an experimental artistic video project.
I remember being quite impressed by how stylistically thorough it was. He didn't make a lot of missteps in direction. I did, and so I understand that was part of the appreciation. I do like what you said there about how, like, mass culture is not explored, because then it makes the subculture less vanguard or disturbing.
Well, everybody's weird.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
No one's normal to make the weird people seem weird. And it's a COVID project as well. So this movie is shot entirely in Athens on a soundstage, like in 3 different rooms that have been redressed over and over again, except for the part where they're by a real wharf with a sinking boat.
The whole thing is just a premise and a setup, and then the end credits roll. I really did want
Exactly.
it to get started.
It's artistically thorough to the point that it's airless. And there's no stakes.
Yeah, and yet I wasn't bored. Like,
I don't know, was I bored? The first time I watched it, I was waiting to figure out what it was about, and then it was over. And the second time I watched it, I was just noticing that, like, this movie only has a beginning, as you say, and then it doesn't go further than that.
I just wasn't offended by it. Like, really, it didn't offend my intelligence. Also, I do feel like he could have spent a little bit more time figuring out the design of those bone chairs.
Sure. And also, pick people with more personality than someone like Viggo Mortensen.
And
then when you have people with personality like Léa Seydoux and Kristen Stewart, figure out what to fucking do with them, because the women are all the same, the men are all the same, everyone talks the same. Think about the fact that Videodrome has Debbie Harry being the queen of camp in that movie and what that contributes to that film.
But I thought Léa Seydoux was doing well with what she was given.
But why wasn't she given more is my question.
Fair. And that was Crimes of the Future. Next up, we have Leila's Brothers by Saeed Roustayi from Iran. This is an Iranian movie made in Iran. It also was followed by controversy. We'll get to that. Roustayi is a name that I'm hopeful we're going to see more of in future competitions. Seems to be a name on the rise. Was back again just this past year with Mother and Child. This movie won the Critics' Prize, the Fibreski Prize, for films in the official competition. And Saeed Roustayi was sentenced to 6 months in prison after presenting this film because he did not go to every person and kiss their ring and say,
basically,
please let me do this.
Like, it's annoying at this point. The level of censorship, like, on the one hand, it's annoying. It's like, why are you guys able to make these movies if everyone's going to be pissed off at the,
Yeah, it basically was banned because it premiered without government approval.
Well, yeah, and we're also seeing, like, government interference in artistic expression happening in Trump's America right now. So, like, they're not that far behind. I get it.
Totally.
It's easy to point fingers, but, particularly in the context of this podcast and this particular year, it is amazing that, these two, we have it twice in this competition.
So Roustayi and producer Javad Narujbegi were each imprisoned for 6 months for screening the film without permission, and were forced to take a class on how to make films keeping with national interests and national morality.
Yeah. Which I'm sure was like me at Greek school, which is that you just sit there and think about sex for 8 hours and nod every time.
Or me going to choice classes after I got caught shoplifting temporary tattoos. Iranian officials also expressed outrage at the film's actors critiquing the Iranian government during press interviews, and footage of actor Navid Mohammedzadeh kissing his wife on the red carpet.
Like, can we please?
The film was also followed by sexual assault accusations against two of its actors. I was so relieved that it was not neither of the two actors who were accused was the hot brother.
Yeah.
It resulted in one of them not attending the festival and the other getting called out on social media while promoting the film.
Which is amazing because he looks like Sam Crenshaw from today's special, the security guard puppet. Yeah.
Oh my god, you're so right.
Yeah.
He's got a Mr. Magoo-ish kind of quality.
Yeah.
This movie is so Russian in its setup. Like, it's so Chekhov Tolstoy.
Yeah, not shocking. They're neighbors.
Yeah, and it is about 5 siblings, Leila and her 4 brothers, who have all not been set up for success, they feel, by their father and how he ran his economic affairs. They do a lot of finger pointing for their own mistakes as well, and they have an opportunity to go in on a business together to get themselves out of the red, and they need their dad to get out of the way and also help them out. And all of this culminates in a catastrophe at a wedding where their father has been nominated the patriarch to give the person
of the extended family.
Of the extended family, the person who gives the biggest, the most momentous present and gift.
Yeah, it's how you solidify being the patriarch of the family, is that you give the biggest gift and you sit in a pride of place, and it's like all he's cared about. It's like girls who plan their weddings from when they're 8 years old, you know, like where you have this obsession with success and you're obsessed with the thing that you think looks like success instead of actually being successful, because of course his home life is an absolute disaster. He wants this pride of place as the family patriarch, but he doesn't actually lift a finger to be in any way good at being a patriarch. And then of course this movie is also about the failure of this patriarchal society, which is that you have these 4 men who are varying shades of useless or passive, and the only person who sees things clearly and is intelligent and knows what it should be done is the one female sibling, who is, of course, has no power in any way and has to stay home and take care of her parents. Well, I love the fact that she's also not a saint, you know.
Oh, totally. And she's acidic.
She is acidic, and she can be quite vindictive when she wants to be. But then when she lets it all out towards the end there, when she lets it out, and I mean, this movie is a nighttime soap opera. I don't know that it's like, you could have given acting prizes to people in this cast. You could have given a screenplay prize to this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't win because it doesn't feel like great cinema. It feels like great television. But who fucking cares? I sat there for 3 hours and I just kept eating this shit up. I loved Ali Reza. So the central brother, basically, the one who comes home after years because he's been working abroad. He's the Rocco of these brothers, basically.
Totally.
And I loved his performance. He could have been a Best Actor prize. Yeah,
you're right. It's a very, very good soap. A movie that requires patience because it's as long as a Bollywood movie, but pays off.
I did not feel the time go by at all.
Yeah.
Leila's brothers, Frasier.
Next, we have Mother and Son, or its original French title, Un Petit Frère, by Léonor Serraille from France. I think this person
who's a white woman.
Yeah, fascinatingly, who won the Camera d'Or for Montparnasse Bienvenue in 2017. Mm-hmm. This movie has the least English language writing of all the movies in the competition. There's nothing on the IMDb page. There's nothing on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
And I really looked because when I watch a movie that strikes a chord with me and it's about the experiences of people other than the lived experience of the director, I'm susceptible to a white gaze situation. I just want to hear what Black critics have to say about the movie.
Yeah, and also what participation other people had in the creation of it, like the writing of it. And
absolutely. I want to know, did these 3 actors was it a collaborative process? Mm-hmm. Like, where these actors played a huge part in their characterization? Because a lot of this movie worked for me.
Yeah.
I know its plot is basic. I know it's Moonlight, but it works because I care through the whole time about all 3 of these characters making it. It's for me is the better. It's doing better on themes and explorations than Tori and Lakita and Armageddon Time.
Sure.
Me. Yeah.
So tell people what it's about.
Yeah. So Mother and Son is it's a plot structure in 3 parts, just like in Moonlight.
It's a triptych.
Starts with the story of 20 years ago of Rose, the mother of 2 boys, moving from Ivory Coast and
to France.
is maybe not realistic about how economically she is constrained, but is understandable in her young, youthful view on life and
Yeah.
what she should have that other people have all the time, like you
Yeah.
and I.
Yeah, when you are an immigrant, especially from an economically depressed place,
Yeah,
you come to a new place and this is the story of my parents, like you put a great deal of focus on living the straight and narrow
yeah.
because you don't want to give people the excuse to kick you out and you need to get ahead in a tough environment.
And you're always taught that you need to you need to set up your kids to have a better life than you had.
Correct. And if you do anything wrong, like if anything goes wrong, it's your fault for not having minded yourself. And
Yeah,
I find it fascinating that she wants to party. Like she has an orgy at her boss's villa, and
I
she
know.
she fucks the hot guy that she sees across the way while she's cleaning a window, and then has an affair with that married what is he, a poet or something,
Yeah,
and moves to Rouen for him. Like she's wholly impractical, and I really love that about her. But
yeah.
unfortunately, it comes back to roost because the second part is about her son, as her elder son as a teenager.
Who is Ernest or Jean?
He's Jean, and he's like a genius. He's like scoring super high in school, but we can tell from the first part when he's a child that there's an anxiety issue going on
Yeah,
there,
he's a perfectionist.
and that there's a mental health problem that then comes to the
Yeah,
fore when the pressure to be a genius, or when the opportunity to be a genius and succeed is actually pressure on him. And then the third part is later on when his younger brother Ernest is a professor
yeah.
of philosophy, and he's also suffering through the increased negative treatment to immigrants in this increasingly right-wing France, right? Like when he
Yeah.
gets carded by those cops.
I mean, Torontonians would feel something watching the scene where he gets carded. It's like a flashback to, well, everything that Desmond Cole reported on in Toronto and in the North York area.
Absolutely, yeah. And so it makes more sense that the original title is Un Petit Frère, because it's all about everything that he inherits from the first two parts. I like that this movie avoids a lot of cliches as well, because she's not exploited at every turn. Like her job sucks and it's fine.
But it also sticks to the simplistic. Like it doesn't do a lot of plotting. It doesn't.
No, it's just about the fact that life grinds you down. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
And I like the fact that she is sophisticated. She's an
yeah.
inheritor of Ousmane Sembéné's Black Girl, except that she
Very
doesn't
much.
have
I
to.
thought that there's
Yeah,
actually a shot of her that feels like an homage.
yeah, and it's probably a movie made with that in mind. And like she's just doesn't have to hide her inner life from the people around her the way Black Girl did.
Yeah, and I was devastated when at the end of the movie she just wants to connect to her son and tell him how much she loves him, but all she can ask him is material questions. He just wants to have a real like "how you doing, mom" kind of
I know, because
conversation.
there's the weight of so much between them that has built up over the years. It's yeah.
It felt honest to me, and I think it's an achievement that she did this. And I just maybe just because I'm a person of our time, I'm just wondering like, am I justified in liking something if other people say it doesn't represent their experience? And that's
Yeah.
why I was wondering.
Oh, if you were a proper person of your time, you wouldn't ask that. You would simply condemn it.
Yeah. Yeah, while throwing three amazing performances under the bus at the
Correct.
same time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was Mother and Son. Moving on, we've got real pulp in the house. Nostalgia by Mario Martone from Italy. It's a co-production with France in the Italian language.
He also directed a movie about a poet that I went and saw at Lightbox with my friend, and then half an hour in, I was like, I'm not feeling well, I gotta go. And I just walked out and left my
Wow.
friend there alone. I've never done that before.
I didn't
or
know that you
since.
had that principle.
I still think to that, and I'm like, why did I do that?
This was Italy's selection for international feature film. It did not make the shortlist, though it did well in the David Di Donatello Awards, if that means anything to you. Apparently there's a lot of Tangerine Dream on the soundtrack. I did not clock it while I was watching the movie.
What's it about, Greg?
Bill, get off my fucking back. Okay, this movie is about a guy who returns to his hometown to take care of his mom because she's not doing well.
Yeah.
To Naples. And I take it that they are of North African descent?
No, he ran away to Cairo because of the trouble he got into as a kid. Because his uncle was in construction and had a contract in the Middle East.
So this guy returns home after many years away, and then we learn that he has a secret, that he had to run away from home because he was involved in a murder with a ruffian that he became friends with when he was a kid. And now he's returned home to find out that same ruffian is now like a local gang leader who is
He's not
feared.
a gang leader. He's like high up in the Camorra gangsters, which is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah. Like anytime you see something set in Naples and anybody looks shady, it's Camorra gangsters. This is what The Lost Daughter was supposed to be about, but she had to shoot it in Greece because of COVID. And so like that context is missed, which is actually much more significant than Maggie Gyllenhaal will realize. And the idea is that like he has this, it's not really a secret because everyone knows why he left, but I guess because he knows that his friend actually committed a murder that, as far as the police are concerned, is unsolved.
Yeah.
There's a concern now for his old friend, now that he's returned, that he's going to spill on him. But it's like, but you're already a fucking gangster who's killed everybody. So like, why do you care?
And then, but then also it's like, but you are spilling. Like you're talking to everybody. You talk to a priest who then didn't uphold his oaths. He's basically like winking and nodding to everybody that you're friends with the fucking local gang lord.
I don't like this movie. It is.
I did. This is a good airplane movie.
I could see that. I mean, it's a movie you can see and you can't feel. Justin Chang wrote that he thought that Best Actor should have gone to the kid from Close and this guy, which in the second half of that I don't agree with. I don't like this actor. What's his name? Pier Francesco Favino, I think.
But I'd sit on his face.
I wouldn't. There's never enough going on with him. I find that he's opaque on the best of days, and you have this actor who doesn't really give me much inner life, making this choice that I don't understand. He hasn't lived in Italy in 40 years, which is why he has an accent, because he left as a teenager. And he reconnects with Naples, and he decides, even though he has a wife and a home and a job and a life in Cairo, he's like, I want to move back here. Why? Do we find out why? Do we feel why he has reconnected with his hometown, where his mother basically lives in a fucking warehouse closet?
It's in the title. He's nostalgic.
I know, but I wanted to feel it. I didn't want to just be told it. There's also weird things in this movie. You know, at one point he shows on his phone, he shows photos about the damage done to his home and his motorcycle burning because of the fact that he's looking for his friend and he's ruffling feathers. But did we see that happen?
There's corner cutting going on.
Okay.
And then there's also pace issues. Like, no, this thing is clunky. There's really long dance scenes that are embarrassing to watch, but there's still enough to it that that kept me going. Like I want to see how the episode of TV finished.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I just thought it was so dumb.
I mean, the more I'm talking about it out loud, like maybe it doesn't need to be in the Cannes competition, but I was happy to watch it on an airplane.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think it's dumb. Oh, and Martone, I forgot to mention, there was a big break for him. He was at Cannes in 1995, and then he didn't come back to competition until this year. And now he was back again last year with Fuori.
Yeah.
Fuori. Also in competition, we've got Pacifiction by Albert Serra from Spain, a co-production with France, Portugal, and Germany, shot and set in Tahiti. And its full original title is Pacifiction Tourment sur l'île.
You loved Tahiti Treat as a kid, didn't you?
What is Tahiti Treat?
Oh, was it already phased out by the time you were going?
Was that like an ice cream flavor?
No,
I remember the name.
It was a soda pop that was fruit juice flavored, fruit punch.
It's ringing a bell.
Yeah, it was just sugar.
Yeah,
it was
like
sugar colored red, but I loved it.
This movie also performed well with critics when it finally was released the next year in 2023, making Film Comments top 10. It was picked up by Mubi. It gets called like words like Lynchian a lot.
Yeah, that's not actually appropriate. Well,
and that's just people doing acrobatics to deny that to get around the fact that they don't actually know what it's about.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah. This is the movie I most urgently want to rewatch because it's doing so much visually and flying over my head. And that's partly due to the fact that I watched this movie on the first night of the flu and it didn't work out.
I watched it under much better circumstances and I felt the same way about it, except I'm not actually anxious to rewatch it again because it felt so long.
Like, were you bored?
And I wasn't bored. I was just listen. Albert Serra is wavelengths. Like he's a wavelengths filmmaker.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sitting waiting for something more conventional and shocked. I knew what I was getting. I knew I was going to get this sort of tone poem, like a movie where it's emotional. It's working on a different. It's just buzzing in a different way.
Frequency.
Right. Or wavelength.
Yeah, that would work. That word works.
And it's smart, you know. It tells its colonial tale in these very subtle, almost obscure ways. You know, just from the beginning when he sits down and he's eating alone at a crowded table where everyone else is around him, he's the only one eating. And then you have these like hypnotic scenes of like the sailboats on the water.
Oh yeah,
which could go on for hours. You know, the fact that he's just like shady and he's always around. It felt like an adaptation of a Joseph Conrad novel or something, you know, where it's just goings on without it being all about the intricate trickery of a plot, but more
Yeah.
just it's a vibes movie is basically what it is. Also, that man can wear a white leisure suit in any situation. He's on a skidoo or whatever it is.
He's one of my candidates for Best Actor, to be honest.
Yeah, and he won a César award for this. Yeah,
And it's all the more impressive because Serraille shoots, because he digital permits this. He shoots hours and hours of footage from different angles, which is why everything looks pristine, like he got the right shot, but also makes it all the more impressive that he gets these performances. And he was not very merciful in his direction of Majimel. Like, he was basically just telling him, like, just go in there and be the character. Don't do prep.
But that's not actually a cruel thing to do to an actor, because good acting in movies, most of it is just a director who makes you feel like it's going to be okay. Like, this is a movie that I don't love to watch. I would love to make this movie. I would love to be
well said.
Exist in this director's world.
And I'm excited for his new movie, Afternoons of Solitude. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know, being about something, but is it really about something? Kind of.
It's on Mubi.
Exciting. Also in competition, we have R.M.N. by Christian Mungiu. He's a Palme d'Or winner for 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days. He was also a screenplay winner for Beyond the Hills in 2012. And he won Best Director for Graduation in 2016.
Yeah, I think this is his first film to win nothing at Cannes.
It's only the second one I've seen of his, but I can kind of understand why. We'll get into it. This is a Romanian film. It's co-production with France and Belgium. And it got good enough reviews when it came out. It was like a March release. I remember people talked about it a little bit, and then it was kind of a whisper. The movie is loosely based on a real event where in a town that has a very prominent Hungarian enclave, scandal broke when a local factory that needed to fill spots through inner workings of the EU. We were able to procure international labor. They got some Sri Lankan.
They get tax breaks basically for hiring people from faraway places.
Yeah, so they save some money to get some Sri Lankan workers, and truthfully, they tried to fill these spots before, but nobody local wants to make that wage.
Yeah,
and we can talk about that for days. Canada has its own like temporary foreign worker program scandals. As well. This controversy became the inspiration for this movie, and it basically follows its plot, or it follows what happened, and it focuses on two main characters. One of them is an assistant or like a lower manager in the factory that's hired these two foreign workers, and she's very sympathetic to them, and she's very virtuous. And the other one is a guy who she has a history with, who she still sleeps with once in a while. And he represents the jettisoned European working class who has set a standard for himself of like what a dignified work experience should be. And it's not working in this factory for a low wage.
Yeah.
But he also is annoyed to see people coming in from another country and transforming his community and making a living while he's not doing what he thinks he should be doing.
Yeah. Well, it's also about racism, like he's also a foreign worker. He goes to Germany to work.
Totally.
The way they treat the white foreigner, the French guy, versus how they treat.
I thought I implied that. Did I not say it was about?
No, you did. I just mean that, like, that's also that's also an irony that the movie explores is the fact that a lot of people are crossing borders to places that they're not from, and yet they're not all treated the same.
Well, and this movie takes place in Romania, and it's about how he's being racist at the same time that he knows what it's like to experience racism as somebody who's part Romani.
Yeah,
and they're in a Hungarian town.
Yeah, and they're all obsessed with gypsies that don't live there. Like, they talk about them all the time throughout this whole film.
They're like a specter that isn't really in that specific locale.
Yeah.
This movie is mostly celebrated for one tremendous town hall scene that has one shot that's 15 minutes long.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Where everybody just argues about back and forth about whether or not they should get rid of these foreign workers. And they bring up every old school biological racist excuse possible.
Yes, that, and also it's because they love to argue. They don't want a solution. I remember being at a debate because our Greek school was possibly going to move locations, and they decided to have a town hall. The board with, like, the Toronto school board with the liaisons with the Greek community, with all the parents of Greek school kids. And every time someone came up with a solution, someone else got up to scream about it. And I could tell, even as a 12-year-old, I could tell that people just wanted to shout and fight and keep the fight going. They did not want the problem to be solved because they
Oh my
just had
God.
other problems in life, and this was their opportunity to let off steam, which is what these people are doing in this movie. And they've had this tension between Hungarians and Romanians the whole time that is now coming out because of the situation. But like, ultimately, you know, as you say, they posted for these jobs and no one wanted them locally,
Yeah.
and yet they're complaining that the jobs are going to foreigners. I see this all the time as well when I'm in a certain European country that my family is from, which is that they
Yeah.
complain about all these refugees that are destroying their country, but it's just like, oh, are you going to take the job pushing a mop across the subway floor? Because I don't think you are.
The other side of it is that if you make the wage match the cost of living, then people local would take the job. But then that brings into other economic questions as well.
Well, yeah,
But
because
certainly,
it also affects the economy. It's
yeah,
basically
yeah,
that you're hating the players instead of the game, basically.
yeah,
Because the
totally.
players are easier to attack.
Like there was an issue in Fort McMurray for a while. They had to start raising the wage at Tim Hortons higher than anywhere else in the country because they could not get people to work at Tim Hortons because they could go work in oil.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like those kinds of considerations had to come into mind. This is a really interesting thing that comes up every time Trump is president.
Mm-hmm.
We're in round two because they're always talking about sending more and more Mexicans back to their home country. But it's like, do all of you know where you're like who farms? Like,
They don't think about it.
Do you want to pick berries?
Do you
Like-
want to think about the fact that you are participating in the oppression of people around the world with every piece of technology that you use and every piece of clothing that you wear? Because you might find that one particular conflict in this world is taking up all your time and making you protest in the streets. But the truth is, your cell phones are cleaned with cleaners that give the people in Chinese factories cancer. And if the companies switched to the non-cancer causing solvent that they use to clean them, they would have to spend 50 cents more on each phone, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, do any of us know what's going on in the world, or where all our things are made, or the cruelty that we are all participating in, especially those of us living cushy North American lives?
And so this movie says, very plainly, is like at a local level, be fucking kind to the person in front of you.
Absolutely. And it's fascinating that this movie basically takes this small village in Transylvania and turns it into this sort of EU microcosm. It's a hard movie because it's quite hopeless. I mean, like, no one has courage in this movie and no one has a solution.
Oh, it takes courage to masturbate looking at your ex-girlfriend through a window like that.
In that cold. Absolutely. That scene was hilarious. I really enjoyed this movie. It really riled me up. I don't like it the most of his movies, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know that I needed this framing narrative of the spiritual child, sees the ghost of the Christmas future at the beginning, and then we find out, like that.
Oh, I thought that was a flashback.
No, he keeps talking about what he saw in the woods, and then at the end the old man kills himself, and that's like he basically saw that before it happened.
Oh, that's a dumb bitch move.
And then the guy sees the bears in the woods because we're basically being told that he's inherited the mental health issues that he's been terrified of this entire time.
I thought the bears at the very end were dudes in costume because I thought it was the same costumes that they wear in the parade. And so it was people vandalizing who were all dressed up as bears out of national pride.
That could be it too. I thought it was a hallucination.
I thought it was hackneyed, and it wouldn't commit. It would make it clear what it was.
Right.
I thought whatever that was, it wasn't vivid enough, and you don't let me down like that. That ending let me down.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that let me down is that she is the most virtuous character we have in all of the competition.
Yeah. I liked it though. I enjoyed it.
No, I gave it 4 stars. Like it's not, I'm being bitchy because 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days is like one of my all-time favorite poems, like maybe number 4 of what we've done so far. And so I hold him to a high standard, but this movie is better than a lot of other movies in this list.
He's the least humorous of all the Romanians who broke out in this Romanian new wave, because a lot of the other ones, they're all very satirical, and he's not satirical. He's decided that people are ridiculous enough that we don't need to gild that lily. But I find his stuff, it's heavy, but it doesn't go down with difficulty for me.
Well, because he makes like capital C cinema. Like he is a director. And then we've got Showing Up by Kelly Reichardt from the US, filmed in Portland. Reichardt rarely shows up in Cannes. I guess she's more of a Berlin, Venice gal.
I guess so, yeah.
This is not uncommon. It happens to Claire Denis as well. She's only been back again with The Mastermind in 2025, which you loved and I have still to see.
Loved.
And this movie, God, it was just, I don't know if it was maligned by COVID or if they needed to get around that Michelle Williams and Judd Hirsch were in another movie, but it got a close enough to dumpuary release. Kelly
Yeah.
Reichardt movies already don't get sold very well.
It's also still close enough to the pandemic where like movie distribution is still kind of weird.
Yeah, this is a very, very worked through and researched movie about a sculptor who works at an art school for for her mom,
Hmm.
and it's from basically from a family of artistic geniuses who are all eclectic and neurotic in their own
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
She's got a brother who is unwell and, by the looks of it, unmedicated.
Yeah. Like
Um,
genuinely not well. The other ones are quirky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then she rents a room in the house owned by her successful sculptor friend, played by. Oh, sorry, I should say she's played by Michelle Williams, and her successful sculptor friend is played by Hong Chow.
Hmm.
Both actors did a lot of work working with other real life sculptors to make sure that the work they were doing on screen was believable.
Yeah.
Um,
Her sculptures are made by Cynthia Lottie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Reichardt knew she wanted to make a movie about an artist, and she originally wanted to make one about the Group of Seven painter Emily Carr,
Oh.
and she was crossing the border to go to like Vancouver to
Hmm.
research Emily Carr, and the border agent said, "Hey, what are you doing? What brings you to Canada? Oh, we're coming here to do some research. Oh, about what? About Emily Carr. Oh yeah, wait, I know her. She's really famous." And then they were just bummed that Emily Carr is the most known painter in Canada.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, start from scratch. We need to do something that's not tired. So then,
Yeah,
so
but
they
it's
made,
not it's not a tired film subject. I can't say that I've watched too many Emily Carr biopics.
yeah, I guess, yeah. Maybe this person told them like, it's all Canadians know is like Anne of Green Gables, Celine Dion, and Emily Carr.
Okay.
Like maybe that's how it was pitched, but they abandoned the project because Reichardt didn't think that it'd be. She felt like it was well covered. This movie is about a lot while also seemingly being about nothing at the same time.
Like the fact that she is much more honest about her brother's mental health issue than her mother is.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she also is constantly bugging her brother about wanting him to be a more normal person.
I
She
know.
just doesn't deal with it head on. She's just like, why are you taking so much cheese? Why aren't you answering your phone?
I know.
And that's such a sibling thing to do as well.
Yeah, it's just it's a really close up postage stamp sized portrait of an artist in a medium sized city
Hmm.
trying to make her dream to make art work while trying to make a living and constantly comparing herself to the people around her.
And also the fact that everything happens in small arcs. Life happens in
Yeah.
small arcs. Right now, it's about this one show she's preparing for, and
Yeah.
everything is in relief to that, whether it's helping her or hindering her. And for the most part, it's hindering her. She can't take a shower because the hot water's not being fixed. She has to take care of this stupid bird whose wing is broken because of her. Although she hasn't told anyone that.
I know.
And then she has to deal with her brother. She has to deal with her mother. She has to deal with the vagaries of office minutia because she's basically reception. She's an admin clerk at her mom's school, filmed at the Oregon College of Art and Craft in Portland. And
where she works with an adorable Andre Benjamin.
that's right, I know, who burns her one statue. And it's what I love about this movie is that all the conflicts are these like brittle frissons under the surface of life. Nothing, there's no like major conflict.
No.
Like I love Hong Chau's performance because she is that person who is like, confident and seemingly chill, but is actually she knows what she's doing. She's actually quite calculating and ambitious, but constantly acting like everything's NBD, which is more annoying than the people who are like openly ambitious. And that's particularly annoying to Michelle Williams because Michelle Williams has zero confidence. She doesn't know how to put herself out there. She just wants to make her artwork and she wants it to be enough. But she has to deal with the fact that the art world cares about these personalities that get more attention. But at the same time, they're friends, so she doesn't want to be like openly hostile to her. So everything comes out in all these petty squabbles.
I know, and it's just like I keep going back to this line that you said a few episodes back. It was so succinct where you said like, just because you have a right to your anger doesn't mean it's your friend.
Absolutely, yeah.
And she's right to want to have hot water in her shower again.
Yeah.
But why is she being an asshole?
Yeah. And why can't you figure it out? Why can't you go to a gym? Why can't you go to your mom's house and take a shower? Because you don't want to, because you also want to be mad, because it's helping you deal with your emotional frustration over the fact that you are super stressed out about this exhibit. Because we've all been in that place too, where we're stressed out about something and it's making us mad at absolutely everything else. The ambivalence is also reflected in the title, because showing up means showing up to your work and to your event.
But also it's about just showing up to your vocation.
Yes, but it also means showing someone up.
Yeah, it ends so gently. It puts such a smile on my face.
It took me a while to really get onto Rijkaard's rhythm. I loved Meek's Cutoff, but a lot of her other movies I was quite indifferent to. But I loved this movie, and I loved The Mastermind. So I feel like she might have just been an acquired taste for me or something. I don't know.
You're having a breakthrough with her right now?
I guess so, yeah.
What I want to know, because this might be our only time we talk about Michelle Williams, so let's just put it on record. She's great in this. Why is it that we resist her?
Oh, because this is the first time that she's playing a person who is what we think she is.
Yeah.
And other times she is this person pretending to be the happy girl, pretending to be she does other roles where she's trying to convince us she's Gwyneth Paltrow. And it's like, you're not that. And it's annoying because you're lying to me. And this movie taps into her element.
She's such a grump in it, and she's so good at it. Yeah.
Like her performance in The Fabelmans is insulting.
I heard she's good in Fosse Verdon. I never got around to it.
She is very good in that. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Before we get into the Dinde d'Or, we lead with an almost Dinde d'Or.
Absolutely.
Tchaikovsky's Wife by
Thank you, Thomas.
By Kirill Serebrennikov. A Russian movie that was a co-production with France and Switzerland. Serebrennikov has been here a few times in the last decade. Leto in 2018. Petrov's Flu in 2021. And Liminov, The Ballad in 2024.
Which is Ben Whishaw.
Despite being a Russian film from a major Russian director, this was not released in Russia. It's this possible because he was critical of the war in Ukraine, but also I think Agnieszka Holland was mad that this movie was being shown in competition because she believed that he was celebrating the old oligarch system, or rather the new oligarch system, I think is what she's trying to say. So I don't know what his politics are, but apparently they're dislikable from all sides.
He's an openly gay filmmaker surviving in Russia, which is amazing, which probably is because he's wealthy, but, that's still pretty impressive. I liked Leto. That's a movie about the punk scene in Russia. He's an enemy of their government, so I don't know that I would have too much to disagree with him about. And if Agnieszka Holland made a much better movie than Green Border, I would have taken her shit a lot easier, but I don't know that I want to hear from her about him. Not that I'm defending him all that hard either, because I hated this movie. But I don't think that this movie's defending anything. I don't think this movie has a passion of any kind for anything. That's part of its problem.
So when I think about the Dens this year, they distinctly insulted a part of me. This one insulted my taste. And the two that will be our Dens, that are our Dens, insulted my intelligence and my time. But this movie is pretty visually tacky. It looks sometimes like Heritage Minute.
Absolutely.
Quality.
And it looks like someone's smoking into the camera the entire time.
And you have to go through what is actually a very thin plot stretched out over a really long time.
Yeah.
He sleeps with men. She doesn't know. She's in disbelief. This
She
goes
takes
on
an hour and a half to be told that he's gay.
Yeah. Tchaikovsky's beard takes a very long time to figure out what she is. And then by the time we get to a conflict coming to a head, this movie can't even be rescued by the fact that we've got a whole bunch of gorgeous ballet bodies with big flapping dicks.
Yeah.
And really, that's why the movie's on a Dinde. But
yeah, you can just Google the GIF, including the part where she rubs her hand all over the guy's junk and then smells it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you put it perfectly. She's so fucking daffy to not be onto him right away, and he's so stupid to be mad when she finally is because he's not doing a good job hiding it.
Yeah, it's like you're a member of a certain class, so you all your friends are getting married to hide it. Why aren't you? Or just don't do it. Like, why did you let her goad you into marriage and then you try to strangle her because she wants to get it on with you on her wedding night? Like, everyone is an idiot in this film. We don't understand why she's so passionate about him. Is it her I can fix him vibe? Or is it that she's obsessed with his music?
There's no psychology in it. Also, there's no music in it.
It's the same movie as Vincere with Giovanni Mezzogiorno.
Except Vincere shows you his politics. This movie doesn't show you his craft.
It's a bad version of that, right?
Yeah,
because in that movie, her obsession with him was easily understood. Like the stakes all made sense. While as in this case, it's just like, I hate all of you and I have to sit here for 2.5 hours hating you. So thanks, Thomas, for finding this movie, but also fuck you. Just kidding.
No, it was a gift. Thank you for the penises.
No, I know. We got to do the whole competition because of him, and I really, really appreciate it.
Completing a competition is something I've only done twice now, and it's fulfilling.
I thought that actress was really good. I thought she was really skilled. I just feel bad that she had this character that she could not make heads or tails of.
Well, and I felt bad for her that she was forced to do the Guadagnino Suspiria dance at the end.
Right.
All right. Now we get into the real Dan Doors. In a first on this show, we have a prize winner taking a dand. Bill, won't you take it away?
My choice for the dand is Stars at Noon by Claire Denis. This one hurts.
It does hurt because we love her.
Because I love her. She's not just I love her. I've met her, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite celebrity encounter of my life. And I say this having met Isabelle Huppert. I think Claire Denis is a genius. I told her I thought she was a genius. She was very sweet in appreciating it, and I still think it's true. This movie was also a casualty of the COVID pandemic. She couldn't shoot it where she wanted to shoot it. She didn't end up shooting the script she wanted to shoot. It's based on the novel by, is his name Dennis Johnson?
Yeah, he did Jesus' Son and Train Dreams.
Train Dreams is based on, which is a beautiful film. And it's ridiculous that this movie shared the grand jury prize, in part because it was received very badly at the festival.
Oh.
So they're just giving it to her because she's Claire Denis.
Which is insulting.
It's absolutely insulting. She had 2 movies in 2022. This played at Cannes. Both Sides of the Blade played at Berlin a few months earlier. It's also terrible. It won her Best Director, I think, at that festival.
Oh.
You know, they're just...
She's getting pity on all sides.
She's getting pity awards, and she doesn't need it. Like, no. I know that she has been underrepresented at major film festivals, and she has been under-awarded at them. I mean, this is her first time in competition since Chocolat, her debut in 1988. She has also been revered with multiple retrospectives and everything in between for her brilliant, brilliant films. You can wait for her to make something amazing. You don't have to give her something just because she made something. Particularly with a movie that is so difficult to sit through. This movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes. It feels like it's 8 hours long. Yeah. I love Margaret Qualley. I fucking hate her in this movie. I hate her Spanish. I hate her wet teeth.
Her Spanish is bad.
I hate her boy tits. Like, everything about it.
There's a lot of it.
I know that we're trying to make an anti-hero, but she's actually a brat, and it drives me goddamn crazy.
I actually thought this is a movie that would have benefited from a voiceover narration.
Maybe.
Because we need her to have reflection either after the fact, like narrating the movie in medias res.
Sure.
Or we need her to have a moment's reprieve from her daffiness. Like, I don't believe she's good at her job.
Yeah, well, what's her job? Because she's not actually a journalist.
She says she was out there, like, she was doing freelance journalism, but she was never like a staff journalist.
Right. But the novel apparently makes it clearer what she's doing there.
Yeah,
you started reading it, so
I started reading it. I'm 40 pages in. I basically just finished the scene where, like, John C. Reilly tells her, like, we're not working together anymore. Out of that, she went out there on assignment.
And the novel takes place in the Nicaraguan Revolution of 1984.
It takes place during the Sandinista-Contra war.
Which this movie takes place now.
It sounded like she didn't know how she wanted to get away from making a period piece. So instead, but then she also didn't want to set it during Ortega. Like, she didn't want to be in the country making a movie along its culture ministry's rules. So she shoots it somewhere else, makes it loosely about contemporary Nicaragua, doesn't actually name names.
Right.
And then adds in COVID. It's the only movie of all these movies that names COVID.
And this is something she did with Beau Travail, because Beau Travail is a very loose rendering of Billy Budd.
And she does it as well with White Material, where it takes place in a country that is not named, but
it just doesn't work here. It doesn't happen.
Not. It has no specificity.
No, and it's just like, she's basically gone down there for whatever reason. She is stuck down there. She's doing a bit of sex work just to, like, keep going, basically, until she can figure her way out. And then she falls in love with this oil company executive who's not convincing as anybody.
No.
Played by Joe Alwyn. It was supposed to be Robert Pattinson, but he got delayed filming the Batman because of COVID.
That could have saved this movie somewhat, because Joe Alwyn is terrible.
Well, he just has no personality. It's filmed in Panama.
And he looks
well,
like
right?
he looks like a furry lizard.
It's filmed in Panama, but at some point we realize that like she's sticking with him because she's in love with him. I never felt that happen. And I don't know, this movie is just interminable. It's so and like there are some bad movies in this competition. Like I said, I
Yeah.
hated Brothers and Sisters. I hated the one that you're gonna do for your Dandor.
Yeah.
And watching it a second time made me so fucking angry.
It's the one that most made me feel like it was insulting my time and how I use my time. The other thing that this movie shares with my dad is it's a movie that I hated from the get. Whereas Brother and Sister, it went off the rails after some time.
A lot of it feels like we're watching acting improv exercises, which makes me real angry. And then Benny Safdie shows up.
He's actually the good part of the movie.
Like, the sexy romance at the center of the story might be more potent if everyone around them wasn't these, like, vague political thriller stereotypes.
Also, let's get to it. This movie doesn't fuck. And it has a lot of sex.
Fuck. Yeah, and, like, Claire Denis usually fucks. This movie, however, is the reason why when we saw The Substance, I knew that her tits in that movie were fake.
Welcome to Riviera Rats, a show where two gays grade boobs.
Greg, what's your dandor?
My dand goes to Les Amandiers. Did I say that right?
Yeah, it means the almond trees.
Yes, which is also the name of the school.
Yeah, because it's where it is.
Also known as its English title, Forever Young, by Valeria Bruni Tedeschi, who's been in competition one time before as a director with A Castle in Italy in 2013, but who shows up at Cannes and probably Venice and Berlin lots because she's most famous as a sister of Carla Bruni and as a very reputable actor in her own right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've talked about her in a magnificent scene in Saint Laurent. She's quite good in that bad Patrice Chéreau movie, Those Who Love Me Can Take the Train.
She's in Spielberg's Munich.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And she's got the face of an Almodovar chica.
She does. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Italian.
Yeah. This movie it's fame mixed with Larry Clark's Kids and John's, that movie starring Lukas Haas and David Arquette. It took me a while to realize it was a period piece. I was like, why are we talking about AIDS? I was like, why are we talking about AIDS so much?
Well, I knew it was because Patrice Chéreau, Louis Garrel is playing Patrice Chéreau, who is a real director.
Yeah.
And was the real director of the school. He directed Those Who Love Me Can Take the Train.
And she went to that school.
And she went to that school. And she was good friends with him and worked with him. And then he died in 2015. So that's the one thing that gave me the idea that it was a period piece. And then they're all talking about AIDS tests. But the period details are quite vague. I mean, and then in the end, we find out it's set in 1986. But there isn't an overwhelming effort to make it look like the 80s. And I kind of appreciated that because sometimes that can get distracting. And I appreciated that it was simply consistent in the way it presented the period.
I don't need you to overdo it, but like at least do the work that Ali Abbasi did to transform Toronto in the Apprentice. Because like the scene when they're in that diner that I go to all the time, I was truly amazed. And like he does that in Holy Spider as well. Like I don't need the camera to constantly cut to like a newsreel that tells me that it's 1986.
Right.
But like do some more work. This movie thinks that we've never seen anything like this before. It thinks it's the first person to talk about these themes. And this is the thing that we complain about a lot. I get really embarrassed whenever I watch movies where actors are like doing improv exercises. Like I felt like I was watching a bad version of Out One by Jacques Rivette. I did not care about any of these characters. I did not care about their woes, their pregnancies, their infections, their overdoses.
I know. And the main character is stupid.
Really fucking stupid.
Yeah. And I know it's because she's young and this is her like coming of age. It's basically an earlier version of or not an earlier version, but it's basically The Souvenir by Joanna Hogg.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get on board with her. There was something about that girl that didn't let me in.
I don't want to see her in anything else. I thought I wanted to see Etienne in something else, but I don't think we will because he got canceled.
So Louis Garrel is her ex in real life. And then now she's dating that guy who plays Etienne, who is 30 years younger than her, has been accused of rape and like part of he's not allowed back into Paris. Like the French are amazing. He's been accused of rape, which probably is true, but the punishment involves like barring him from the city limits.
Well, and then, so she stood up for him because she's dating him. And then the ever so racist French press said that they accused her of, there's an Italian word that it starts with an O, and it means basically like keeping a secret out of honor. Like it goes,
omerta.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, you're just saying that because of her name.
So, and then she comes from like old money or aristocracy. That's why the main
Yeah.
character lives in like that mansion.
Right.
Because Bruni Tedeschi and her sister, their family were like heirs to, I think, a tire fortune in Italy,
Yeah.
something like that. And then they left Italy because of constant kidnapping threats, and that's why the girls grew up in France.
Anyway, stupid friggin' movie. But like, flip a coin. On a different day, I might have picked yours.
Yeah, I mean, again, I thought this movie was stupid, but I didn't think it was boring. So it wasn't going to win. Yeah, I don't know. I was intellectually bored, but it moved fast enough for me.
Yeah.
Also, I love that no one in France can talk to young people without smoking directly into their faces. This is something we learned from this movie.
This was my Letterboxd review I was the most proud of. I wrote, I piss and shit, the body electric. Made me want to watch Fame again. I love that movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that in years.
I saw it at the review and it was fantastic. And now, onto our Palme d'Or winner.
Show me that Balenciaga look. Suddenly I'm dressed in something way less expensive. It's H&M. Yay! Balenciaga. And H&M. Balenciaga. And H&M.
You looks paid for the tickets. Not bad, huh?
So what do you do?
I sell shit.
The success of a luxury cruise mainly depends on you. And I don't want to hear anybody saying...
The winner of the Palme d'Or in 2022 went to Triangle of Sadness by Ruben Östlund. This movie is a co-production between Sweden, France, the United Kingdom, and Germany. And it is the second film of Östlund's to win the Palme d'Or, only like 5 years after he won for The Square, which Bill and I covered in our 2017 episode. You can go back and listen to what we thought of that movie.
So this is our first time completing a double Palmer? Or no, because we did...
Alf Sjöberg,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I have not seen the first of what Östlund calls an unofficial trilogy. Force Majeure is the first in this series. Triangle of Sadness, in our research for this episode and looking at the production histories and all the movies, the one that has the most complicated shoot because of COVID is this movie.
Yeah.
It took a very long time. Production was meant to be like, your typical 60, 90-day shoot, but then they had to take 6 months off.
It's a movie set in 3 different chunks, and it was kind of shot in in separate chunks too.
Which complicated when they could get Woody Harrelson, when they could get the expensive yacht that they got, which belongs to Aristotle Onassis.
Yeah, it's the Christina O.
The Christina O.
Whenever I go to Greece and I have Coca-Cola and a cigarette for breakfast, I call it my Christina Onassis breakfast.
That's good. You can comment on this. I don't know how predicted this was to be the Palme, but it was certainly liked when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
And then by year's end, it lasted. And it sort of started the beginning of Cannes films being a thermometer for Oscar season, because now it's regular for a Palme d'Or to get nominated and for other films in competition to get nominated.
Yeah, because Parasite was seen as a fluke.
Yeah, and Titan didn't do that well.
Right.
So now, like, Parasite, Triangle of Sadness, Anatomy of a Fall, Zone of Interest,
Anora.
Like
every Palme, like 3 Palmes in a row are nominated for Best Picture Oscars.
Yeah, exactly.
And this year's Palme is going to get nominated for something.
I think it will get nominated for Best Picture.
If not that, at least Best Screenplay, Best Foreign Film. Right?
People are talking about 3 movies of competition being nominated this year. Like, this is just something that I don't. Yeah, and I know this is partly to do with that. Big Hollywood doesn't know what to do anymore outside of IP.
Yeah, Americans have dropped the ball and aren't making a good enough product to regularly take part in their own award ceremony. And also, they've opened up the membership to international voters. And
that's why you'll get a Brazilian movie every year.
Yeah.
So this movie did very well at year's end. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. All 3 for Ruben Östlund, I believe. Its press and its publicity was also marked by tragedy, because right after the movie premiered at Cannes, lead actress Charlby Dean Creek, plays one of the 2 supermodels at the movie center, died due to complications relating to
pneumonia.
I thought she died of sepsis.
That's what I thought I read, because she'd had her spleen removed.
That's right.
years
That part
earlier.
is true.
Yeah, she was in a car accident and had her spleen removed, and apparently that makes you very, very susceptible to. It makes you much more fragile.
And some people were hurt that this movie was getting Oscar nominations, but she didn't get an inclusion in the in memoriam section. But we don't have to get into that because everybody.
I didn't even know she died when I saw the movie. I don't remember making news. So
I know.
Yeah,
she took the role away from a very famous supermodel. I wrote it down somewhere, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and Dolly DeLeon's character was supposed to be a male mechanic in the original script.
And then they decided that it'd be more interesting to make it a woman, and I agree. Yes, it was the model Emily Ratajkowski.
Oh, her.
And then 120 actors tried out for Dickinson's role, and I'm actually really happy he got it because this is the most I've ever liked him as an actor.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And the most I've wanted to lick his body.
I know, because he looks so great in the sun, but also like Beach Rats is such a opaque performance intentionally. Like he's playing a difficult, troubled guy, and so it's nice to watch him in this movie and see that he actually has quite a light spirit and a very, very plucky willingness to make fun of himself.
Yeah, he's very self-effacing.
Like he plays a himbo so beautifully.
Oh no, terrifically. And then of course at year's end at the European Film Awards and in the critics circles, performance awards were given out to Dolly DeLeon in this fantastic third act performance, and the actor Burich, who plays the seller of shit,
the Russian,
yeah, he won a European Film Award. But now let's get into what this movie is about. Do you want to do the honor? I've been having fun with all the plot lines.
No, it's another triptych.
Yep.
Part one is meeting this supermodel couple and seeing this tension they have over, specifically related to who picks up the tab at dinner.
So
because
funny.
Yeah, because she's a female supermodel, which means she does make a lot more money than he does. And also like status, and we see his audition for a modeling gig. And then part two, they are on a luxury cruise that they are on for free because she is an influencer in the Mediterranean, and that ends with pirates blowing the boat up. And then part three is survivors on an island where values get flipped around because they don't know how to survive in the wild. Dolly DeLeon does, so she's the only way that they can eat, because she can catch food and cook it. She becomes the one who exploits everybody else in the way that she was exploited as a toilet cleaner on the boat, including making Harris Dickinson her sex slave and making people beg for pretzel sticks. This is ground that has been covered already.
Especially in 2022, you had Glass Onion, The White Lotus, The Menu.
But you also have Lena Wertmüller's Swept Away, which is basically the same movie, except not as big. I appreciate that Ruben Östlund knows this, because I don't actually think he's that interested in a message. I think he's having a great deal of fun taking his view of the injustices of the world and the ways in which humans make unimportant things important, and using it as an excuse for this game that he plays in this movie that has all these incredible set pieces.
Incredible.
I love when an audacious movie wins.
Yes.
And this movie is audacious because it's so funny. It's far too long. And I remember the first time I saw it in the theater, I thought this movie's too long, but the next time I watch it, I won't mind as much. And the truth is, I've watched it 3 times, and I mind that it's too long every time. But I also think it's great, so I don't really care. I kind of like the fact that in its many baller moves is the fact that it's too long.
It's a swing.
That whole sequence of the boat being overrun with shit and piss and vomit goes on so long, and it just makes it that much funny.
I know. Except with repeat viewings, I would only say that I start to see the strings, and also the vomit is always explosive, and we could have had a bit of more dribbling barf. I like levels.
And Woody Harrelson's character drives me crazy. He's
God.
He's such a fucking doofus, and it drives me crazy. I also never noticed that the elderly couple who are like basically arms dealers are named Winston and Clementine. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
He gets right a lot of what he got wrong in The Square, which is making fun of the serious treatment of unimportant things. Like in The Square, he was making fun of the high art world, and I appreciate what is worth making fun of in that world, but like he was making fun of the art itself. In this movie, he's not making fun of fashion itself. He's making fun of things like priority seating and the way the auditions are run. You know, like it's not the work itself that he is insulting.
And he's just observational of the economy of it. Like he wanted to make a movie about fashion where appearance is capital and beauty is currency, but he's not making fun at them for being participants in it. He understands that there's a means to an end.
Yeah.
The humor is at like, you know, the text that's on the background of that fashion show, which is so derelict in Zoolander.
That's right. And also just the fact that everyone in this movie is insecure and they are making it everyone else's problem. Like he gets that Greek guy fired basically from his insecurity of the fact that his girlfriend smiled at him.
But also like, thank you for the honesty. Thank you for shooting that guy in all of his hot, hairy-backed glory. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like, of course she's checking him out.
I'm curious, though, if you're super rich to the point of being like an arms dealer, wouldn't you do a private boat?
Oh, it really depends. I mean, that yacht is luxurious.
I know, but like they seem to be these people, and this is probably just because he wants to make this movie and he wants to have this scenario. Yeah. But he's giving us characters who are wealthy to the point that I feel like they would own their own yachts.
But then would you be mingling with other people? Like maybe part of the reason why you go on these cruises is to network.
Maybe, but like there's a baby on board. And if I had finally made it into the millionaire circle, I'd be like, this is the one thing that I became rich to avoid, is having a baby on my vacation.
Something I thought was really cool that Uslan said is that he wanted to make a movie where everybody was nice because he didn't buy that class antagonism means that one is kind and the other is not. And this is where he is in good company with Bong Joon-ho.
Yes. And also that the niceness is the antagonism in some cases, like the fucking annoying woman who makes the crew go for a swim, and then even though that's actually ruining their day.
It ruins their dinner. Yeah.
Well, no, but like it ruins their schedule. Like these people run on a tight schedule and it's important to them to do everything on time and they can't.
But she also made all the cooks go out there, so they left all of the fish lying out.
Right. And then on top of that, it's the night of the storm because Woody was so errant in choosing the night, even though Roxette kept coming to his door every fucking 5 minutes needing an answer from him and he wouldn't give her what she needed.
I love that actress, that fucking Rin Tin Tin haircut. All of the casting is so expert. I love that. That's a real life princess playing I don't know if she's the wife of the shit seller, but like the one who makes them all go to the pool.
Yeah, yeah.
She's hilarious. Her barfing is gorgeous.
Yeah. She's the poster. You know how in the poster she's barfing like she's barfing sparklers or something?
All of that food shaking so gelatinously while the boat is shaking. So well shot. There's a couple of moments that are on the nose where I'm like, you're better than this, Uslan. Like, I don't need him to use new noise by Refused when all the shit starts to explode. This hardcore punk classic.
Right.
And the joke where they pick up the grenade and say, is this one of ours? There's a few of those moments where I'm like, are you making a Kids in the Hall sketch, or are you making a Palme d'Or winner?
Because he's such a clown, and clowns have their moments of, you know, like, I know, because the genius of the way he constructs these sequences.
Yeah.
Again, the audacity of it. Also, the fact that he doesn't plant Dolly early in the film.
No, she's in the background.
Yeah, the camera is so dismissive of her until she takes prominence in the last third.
Well, it's even set up so that you go, oh, did we see her earlier and I didn't notice?
Yeah, and we did. When you watch it again, you realize we did.
We didn't recognize
and we didn't
her.
Notice. Yeah.
The only thing I would say, now talking about its win of a Palme, and it's standing in the pantheon of Palme winners. The only thing I'd say works against it is it's a little in love with itself. I'm looking forward to seeing Force Majeure because from what everyone tells me, it sounds like it's the Palme everyone wanted him to have.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, definitely of The Square and of a rewatch of this movie is just, it's giving a bit of the guy talking at me on themes that he doesn't think I know.
I didn't feel that way about this, and that's something that I usually hate.
Yeah.
I felt more that he knows that we know it, but that he thinks it's a very funny joke. Yeah. Which is, it's usually a lesson in other people's movies.
And it is funny. Oh, I love the reason why I forgive all of this is that in all the other Eat the Rich movies and TV shows that came out this year, it was usually accompanied by amateurish exposition or like not really exciting plot twists.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ending of this movie was truly shocking when Dolly shows up with The Rock and then he's running through the forest and we don't know how the two connect, and that really cool Fred again Black Madonna house song is playing.
And apparently, Dolly said in the original script, it included her killing her.
That is so suspenseful. And then you cut to, like, that is really something to make me hang on.
Mm-hmm.
And like I talk about how the ending of R.M.N. felt janky, like that felt crisp and really tight to me. I actually think the entire island sequence is the best one. When I left the first time from the theater, I thought, like, I was just thinking about the piss and the shit. And now I love the island third act so much.
Oh, because the way the dynamic develops is fascinating.
Well, and the fact that he gives his engagement ring to her as an apology in the moment that now he is being provided for by a woman when all along she wanted him to provide for her.
Right.
That is so brilliant.
But also the way he's just like, well, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything. And that's always the question is like, when it comes to power structures, like, is it that we can't do anything, or do the power structures exist because we willingly play along because we don't feel like challenging it? Because that's just too difficult for us. And also, you know, the thing that I find annoying in Eat the Rich movies is that they're always about the fact that there is the right person to give power to.
Oh, yes.
I always think of that. It's an obscure movie, but it's a movie called Sharper. It's an Apple movie with Julianne Moore. And in the end, they swindle a billionaire, and it's his black son, played by Justice Smith, who inherits all his money, but keeps his used bookstore. And, you know, it's this American fantasy that the reason why billionaires are corrupt is because we've given billions to the wrong people. But if you give it to the right people, the world will be fine. And this movie is smart enough to know that there's no such thing as the right person to give outsized power to. That's true. And that just because she's not a straight white man doesn't mean she's going to heal the world. Power is something that is taken when it's possible to take it.
Also, when did the world decide that the 21st century's answer to Tom Hanks was Justice Smith? Why is he always Justice Smith goes to Washington?
Because he's passive. Yeah.
I know. But like, no, I that sits right with me. And then I'm like,
this is also something, again, I'm sorry to cut you off. This is also something not original. Lena Wertmuller Swept Away is also about the fact that in every society there are haves and have-nots. There's no such thing as curing that because it's just not biologically possible. In any circumstance that a group of people are in, some people are just better at doing things, and it'll create a value system. And then also Luis Buñuel's movies are also about the fact that underneath our layers of civility, we are all animal impulses. So like, again, nothing about this movie is original, but I feel like it's like a really, really funny exercise on familiar themes.
And it's virtuosic. It is Decision to Leave majorly accepted. It's probably the best looking movie.
Oh, absolutely. It looks so good.
Funny that all the things you said, how the movie is about how power works, because Armand White used the word insulting to describe the third act where the Filipino toilet worker assumes power over the newly disenfranchised yacht guests. Like, that assumes he's basically he's talking like he wrote the first Knives Out movie where she's good because she's a servant class.
Right.
That's the problem I have with the lead journalist in Holy Spider. It's like, you know, I'm like,
yeah, and you don't realize how inhumane you're being when you're saying that because she is a woman of color that she has to be good. Because then you're denying people's humanity by saying that.
Yeah, you're literally removing all the multitudes.
Right. Because, like, why can't she be horny and see this situation and take advantage of it?
Yeah, like, what would he think about the mom and mother and son, you know?
Right.
And this is actually, honestly, this is the tired conversation we're all having about Teyana Taylor in one battle after another.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is that actually she's... the reason why she comes across like a fetish fantasy is because that's how his character sees her. But to herself, she's a hell of a lot more chaotic and unsure of herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to say about this movie is I think that actor Arvin Kananian is crazy hot. He plays the second in command to Woody Harrelson.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about this movie?
No, I think I covered it all. I mean, it's a movie. I don't think that anything I even have to say about it is all that explosive. I think it's how a lot of people felt about this film.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I was really happy to see it at the Oscars because he deserved to be invited to that party. And I didn't care that it didn't win anything.
Yeah.
Even though it was the year of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a movie I really didn't respond to, but you know.
I enjoyed this movie being in that roster. It brought a mischief that was really needed that year because we had a lot of bland sincerity, like The Fabelmans and The Whale.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we're about to talk about our choices. I appreciate that this won a Palme d'Or. It is a Palme d'Or, like it looks like a Palme d'Or.
It's the size of one.
It's the kind of movie that would have won the Palme in the 60s.
It has a lot, yeah, you're right. It has a lot in common with Pietro Germi and is that who I'm thinking of, who did like the climax and the Birds, the Bees, and the
Yeah.
Italians?
Yeah.
It shares ancestry with the discreet charm of the bourgeoisie in a way, and Le Grand Bouffe.
But epics that don't act like typical epics are also bait for Palme d'Ors as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is epic. All right, Bill. Time to talk about what we think should have won the Palme d'Or at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival. Would you have given your Palme d'Or to this movie?
No, although I don't disagree with the choice, because I think it does make sense. And, it's definitely the more deserving of his two palms.
Correct.
But The Eight Mountains affected my soul. I haven't seen a movie I appreciated that much in a very long time, other than Close Your Eyes, which I watched recently by Victor Arise. Movies that hit me on a particularly profound level. I love The Eight Mountains so much, so that would have been my choice for the Palme. Taking into account that not everyone feels the same way about movies that I do, I think it should have at least made second place at this festival, either alongside Close or over it, not third place.
I like your choice. I'm also not going to pick Triangle of Sadness for my Palme d'Or. It is my Best Actress choice. Dolly de Leon was who I want to win Best Actress in the end.
Yeah, that's who Justin Chang chose as well.
Yeah, Eight Mountains would be my Grand Prix. Best Director, I'm quite comfortable giving to Park Chan-wook. But I'm really on a sharp edge picking between Decision to Leave and my real choice I'm picking right now, which is Showing Up.
Wow.
Which is very small for Palm, but it is just the movie I like the most.
Oh, it's your Scarecrow.
It's my Scarecrow. It's this small movie that has whole lives in it.
Good choice.
It's not the first time I do that. I've picked small movies before. 3 Days and a Child, the movie about the Canadian doc about the whales.
You're just a small man, Greg.
Small man with a small dick. Bill, if you could give the Palme d'Or to any movie from 2022, not in competition, I'm burning with curiosity to know what it would be. I wonder if we would have the same one.
I mean, I only gave 5 stars out, I think, twice in that year, because I didn't see The Eight Mountains back then. But, of course, my Palme d'Or would go to the incredibly good, incredibly rewatchable Tar by Todd Field, starring Cate Blanchett, which she won an award at Venice for, because that's where that film ended up. I love that film so much.
Yeah. I would give it to Tar as well. 2022 was a cool year where you and I had the same top 2. It was Tar and All the Beauty and the Bloodshed.
Yep.
And I haven't rewatched any of my top 3 of that year. No, that's not true. I have rewatched Nope, and I still love it. But I have not rewatched either of those 2 Venice films.
They're great.
This was really great. Won't you tell our listeners what we're doing next?
Absolutely. We are heading back to the 80s. I'm actually really excited about it. I love this year. We're going to do 1983, The Ballad of Narayama, which is another double palmer, actually, is Shohei Imamura.
Yeah.
His first palm for The Ballad of Narayama. And we'll see you then.
And it's going to be our first Japanese palm.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's exciting too.
See you there.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Riviera Rats.
Our podcast is hosted and produced by Bill Antoniou and Gregory Roseborough.
Our music is by Joe Organ.
Our artwork is by Leo Kuvaris.
Follow us on Instagram at Riviera Rats.
Write to us at ratsriviera@gmail.com.
If you want to support our show, tell your friends about us.
Leave us a rating and a review on whatever podcast app you use.